Hey, Elijah. Grace, peace, and light to you, bro. All right. All right. I made it. I'm here. Fix my screen. All right. Now, how do you do this? Like that. Or, let me see. Um, let's see. How do I do my screen? Um, like that. Oh, make sure I'm sharing. Okay. Oh, look here. Brother Moriel just checked in. Uh-oh. I don't know if y'all can hear me. My screen is frozen. You know, it would be a pretty good idea if I would unmute myself. It would be a pretty good idea, man, if I wouldn't mute myself. Can y'all hear me okay? Can I be heard? Moriel, you here? Elijah, can anybody hear me? Type 1 if you can hear me. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody here? Type 1 if you can hear me. Okay, you can. Okay, thanks a lot, brother. It might help, man, if I would unmute myself. Hey, Moriel, good to see you, bro. I got a link now. So if I say something and you want to come in the room and have a dialogue with me, then you can do it. I'm going to put my the link in the room. So if you feel like you want to add something to what I'm talking about, or you want to have a dialogue or something, there's the link right there. Thanks for uh, letting me know if I can be heard. Thank you, bro. All right, so I can go ahead with my video. Elijah, Seven, Moriel. I got everybody that I need, man, to do my video now. I'm all set. All right, so let me go ahead with the angels that I like to do every uh, that I like to do before my videos. Let me see now. How do I get the screen back? Okay, here we go. All right. So, today, actually, when I was talking to a brother and he was breaking down the Sabbath for me, he really made a good point. He was talking about the full moon is the where we start the Sabbath with, and I've been doing it Friday, Saturday evening, and I agree with where he's coming from. I know the OAHSPE Bible talks about it, and so I today I think actually I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start today. Or let me see. I don't know what I want to do because I don't want to keep going back and forth and back and forth. Because actually, today would be the fourth day of the week. Really, it would be the fourth day because actually the real Sabbath is I think it's Monday, Sunday, Monday. I have to look at. I'm gonna keep doing the angels the same way for today, but I got to look at it because I agree that the new moon that is really the Sabbath. The new moon, what is it like? Once every 7 days on the new moon is the Sabbath. I'm really convicted that that's the real Sabbath. Now today, I was doing Friday evening, Saturday evening, and so actually, I think I'm debating whether I even want to do the angels for the old way. I'm gonna do it today for the old way. So if anybody sees this video, then but I'm gonna switch up and do it according to the first new moon every on the seventh day as the Sabbath. So, or actually, I'm gonna just do it right now. I'm gonna just do it right now out of in faith. So let's go ahead and acknowledge the angels of the daytime and angels of the evening found in this book right here, the Essene Gospel of Peace. Teachings of the Elect, Book 4. Now, the Essene Communions today being the Friday Rising, which really would be the fifth day. Matter of fact, let me look. New moon scheduled for March 2024. Okay, so the 10th. The 10th. And so that would mean you go 7 days, and then that would bring you to you go 7 days from the 10th. And you go 7 days from the 10th, So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will make the 17th a Sabbath, 17th to the 18th. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would make the 24th the next Sabbath, really. The 24th to the 25th. So that would make today the fifth day. The fifth day, really. I hope I don't confuse anybody. We can talk about it if you want to. So I'm going to keep to the new schedule from now on, just so my conscience will feel better. So for the fifth day, then that would make it, let me see, that would be the angel of, fifth day, that would be the angel of wisdom. Or would it be the angel of love? It's the angel of love. The fifth day after the Sabbath would be the angel of love. So let me do that real quick. Wisdom, angel of love, where we read right here, and on the fifth, or that's the evening. I want to do the rising first. And on the fifth rising, yeah, actually, that's right. On the fifth rising after the Sabbath, yeah, that would be today, the angel of the sun. So we're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. And on the fifth rising after Sabbath, the fifth rising, we're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Angel of sun, enter my body and let me bathe in the fire of life. Again, 1, 2, 3. Angel of sun, enter my body and let me bathe in the fire of life. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Angel of the sun, enter my body and let me bathe in the fire of life. And you will feel the rays of the rising sun enter into the center point of your body. There in the center where the, got to get a new mouse and a mouse pad. There in the center where the angels of the day and of night mingle, and the power of the sun shall be yours to direct to any part of your body for the angels to dwell therein. All right. So for this evening, it's going to be, that would be the angel of, let me see, sun, that would be the angel of power. Or would it be love? No, it would be the angel of love. Yeah, angel of love. That's right. And on the fifth evening after Sabbath, say these words. We're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Angel of love, descend on me and fill with love all my feelings. Again, 1, 2, 3. Angel of love, descend on me and fill with love all my feelings. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Angel of love, descend on me and fill with love all my feelings. And then we read, for it is by love that the Heavenly Father and earthly mother and the Son of Man become one. Love is eternal, love is stronger than death, and every night should the sons of light bathe in the holy water, the angel of love, that with the morning you may baptize the sons of men with kind deeds and gentle words, for when the heart of the son of light is bathed in love, the only kind and gentle words speak forth. All right, so there we have it, the angels. And if you're new, if you're coming in and you think I did the angel order wrong, I got corrected by a brother he told me the new moon for the every seventh day, then after the every seventh day on the new moon is the Sabbath. Every seventh day on the new moon is the Sabbath. And I know I probably used to do that before, and somehow I went back to just Friday, Saturday, because I think I felt like it was easier, but it really always kind of bothered me. You can't really, that's not really a valid reason to do things for convenience. You're talking about the faith. So I want to do it in a way where my conscience is a little eased, knowing that I feel more in line with, the keeping of the Sabbath. Now, let me see. I have a room here. I have a room here on Facebook where I invite anybody who you want to be in fellowship with other OAHSPE brethren who speak your language. But before that, I have a food ministry. And if you know somebody and they are struggling, they have food needs, and man, especially if they have children, I'm on it. I am on it, man. I believe that life is not worth living, man. If if there's someone, man, who needs a little food charity and you don't do something about it, man, I just can't get with that at all, man. I mean, I have to know that I'm gonna try to do something. So anyway, here's my email address. You can send me a email, put in the subject line "food ministry," and man, I will get on it. I will get on it. And if somehow I don't have the ability to deal with the situation, I will definitely get on video and cry out loud, man, for help. And I know you brethren will help me, man. I'm sure of that. So anyway, there's my contact information. Send me email. And then here's the room that I have on Facebook for Faithless Brethren, so that you can have a little fellowship. You can also redeem the time. You can also minister to your brethren. You could, come in, drop a word, leave a word. You can read a word. Then you can step out, get some food for the day, something to help try to keep your mind on spiritual things. I'm a firm believer, man. If we gotta be here in this reality, and we're only here for a while, I think that we should do it, and we should be about the things that are most important. That's just the way I am. I just don't believe in wasting time at all, man. And if you're spiritual and you believe, you have the ability to believe in the Creator. If you got the ability to believe in the Creator and you're serious, then this is a little way where you can redeem the time and store up. Me and another brother, we was talking the other day about the Ashars and how they keep records on us, and then when we cross over, they give our records to the what's called the ASAPs. And like in the military, when you report to a duty station, you carrying your service records with you, and then you got to present them when you check in on the base, wherever you go, or the duty station. You have to turn over your service records, and then they get you situated. They tell you where you're going to be, where your room is, and it's the same way in the spiritual. And so we record ourselves while we are in this reality. So here's a good way to do a little bit, man. You do a little bit every day, and then you end up building a pretty big mountain, man. But by no means give your whole energy to the earth. By no, please. I mean, really, man. Try to do a little something that you can record in your record that will give a good witness for you. We live in a reality, man. This reality is getting, it's I don't know how to describe this reality, spiritually speaking. It's more and more foreign, I think, to faiths, to spiritual brethren. I mean, it's like a dead place, if you ask me. I mean, the pull of the world, I was reading in the OAHSPE where people, I mean, it's like it was describing the Druhas, called the Druks, Druks. That's how the OAHSPE, it describes people who just don't, they just have apathy. They're unenlightened. They're unspiritual. They don't care. They just know the carnal, the senses. And they're taking over. Their influence is overrunning the world. It says that in the OAHSPE too. The angels are saying, we raise up, we harvest 1 million, and then 10 million drunks are born, talking about how they get overran. They come down to raise up sons and daughters, but the harvest just gets less and less and less and less. And so I know you, brethren, it's the same for you wherever you are. I'm telling you, man, it ain't easy to be spiritual in this reality. I mean, we look around, we see a whole bunch of ignorance and darkness, and it can wear on you. If you're not working your faith every day, some type of way, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, man, and call yourself being spiritual. If you don't work it like a muscle, it's going to atrophy on you, meaning it's going to stagnate, it's going to freeze on you, immobilize you. Anyway, my room where I just try to share some things. Some every now and then I'll share some events in the world. And this is something that I put up the other day. There was a big event the other day. You probably didn't hear about it because the mainstream news. It's not. It's an amazing thing to me. They don't really. There's some things they won't share. They like to try to keep it quiet. And check out what I posted just last night. Russia went and bombed the nuclear. They went and cut the supply line to a nuclear power plant. They bombed the dam. They bombed the dam that feeds the water to the nuclear power plant. You need water to. They spin those rods so fast, and the water gets contaminated. It gets so damn hot. You got to put it somewhere. The water's got to cool it. Well, anyway, they build these things by a body of water, a river, or something like that. So Russia, the war over there in the Ukraine, they bombed the dam and they cut the power line to the nuclear plant and left only one line left. And that threw the whole city into darkness over there in the Ukraine. That's a big deal, man. They hit that dam. Matter of fact, I ain't going to try to find it. I'll end up getting lost in the weeds. Anyway, they hit that dam. They fractured it to where it didn't break it all the way. But if that damn thing give way, they build them dams uphill, on higher elevation. And then if that damn thing breaks, man, it'll flood. It'll just flood a whole, I mean, the last time that particular dam got hit and flooded and broke, I think it was on purpose. The leader of Russia at the time, Joseph Stalin, he did it on purpose to stop Germany from advancing on Russia, and 100,000 people died. See, the situation in the world is very critical. That's all I'm saying. It's very critical, man. It's a very critical situation in the world. And I presume that most of you brethren we don't really know what's going on. But I think that with the coming events, April 8th, I think that we're going to be I firmly believe something's going to happen. It could be a sign of, I learned something the other day about the Aleph and the Tav. I'm going to get to the metaphysical words here before I ain't going to forget about it. But let me show you something. Something I learned the other day. 2017-2024 eclipse. I've been looking at videos trying to get a deeper understanding about what exactly is going on with this eclipse. Now, that's not the one I want. There's another map that people have been using to show the Aleph and the Tav. The Aleph and the Tav. Let me see. Let me go back and look for the map that I want. Where's the map? There it is right there. Now you see this depiction of the eclipses. It shows the Aleph and the Tav, the Hebrew lettering, Aleph. Here, if you look at this line and the line that goes across that T, that formation, I hope you can see my cursor. My cursor. Oh, wait a minute. Let me show you the screen. All right, I'm right here. Now, I hope you can see my cursor. That's the Tav. That part right there where it forms it looks like a T. T for Tav. Okay? And then you got this, it looks like an A. See? You see that? Olive. olive, a tav and an olive. And the meaning tav, it has a numerical value of 400. See, now that's getting close to Genesis 15, where, well, it's getting close. I mean, it has a numerical value of 400. So that's very, very, what's a good word? That's very curious, isn't it? Because we know what the vibration 400 has in spiritual community. The Israelites, they talk about 400 years all the time. And then there's the olive. Basically, it means the beginning and the end. You see this A, there's the A, and there's the tav. Tav. And so that's why this thing has got a lot of people's attention. Olive means beginning, tav means the end. But I also found out something else. Now, check it out. Something I found out in my room. The tav, it means, it's also referred to as a mark. When you read the Blue Letter Bible and you look it up, check it out. I posted it in my room last night, and it's defined as a mark, as a sign of exemption from judgment. So see, now that's pretty powerful to me. If you ask me, that's pretty powerful, man. You know, there's something here. Tav, 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 the tav. See that? I mean, now the only suspicions I have so far as how to look at this, I look at the Bible differently. I think it's corrupted. I think that it has to do with Egyptian, Persian, Babylonian manuscripts that were put together. But I think that the Creator God, He can work through it. You can't stop the Creator God, man. You know, from whatever He wants to use to give a message. I think that that's the reasoning for the planets. I don't see man manipulating the planets to do something like this, happening at a time where the confluence of events seem to suggest a change in our reality that we ain't never seen before, you know. And you know, it's too much for me. Now, personally, I think it's a change in our energy. We're looking at a change in our energy, and I believe that mark, that tav, I can receive that. You brethren who minister, who labor, who faith this, you believe you're not involved in deity worship. You know the difference between the Creator God and a God, a Lord, an angel of a false God. Because there is such a thing, man. You know, I mean, that's what my channel is dedicated to. It's dedicated. If I don't talk about nothing else, man, I'm going to talk about deity worship. I'm going to do my level best to expose it. I don't care if that's all I talk about, man. I'm not trying to entertain anybody. I'm trying to do what is absolutely critically the most important thing that I can think of, and that's to warn brethren about deity worship. God, it is a aphrodisiac for your behind, man. Meaning it will entice you, it will entrap you. And the Creator, He wants you, if anything, the Creator, the Creator God, from what I could see as I read the OAHSPE, He want you to be free, man. He want you to be free, but that's why I named the title of my video, It's Gonna Hurt. It's coming out of that deity, man, that Christianity, worshiping Jesus Christ, worshiping Muhammad. You know, there is only one God, and His name is Allah, and His prophet is Muhammad. You know, that's a form of worshiping Muhammad. Mohammedans, and they're mentioned in the OAHSPE. The Buddhists are mentioned. The Hindus are mentioned. And there you have it. That's the beast kingdom right there. That makes up the whole world. You see where you faithists live? Is this not an incredible? This is the twilight zone where we live. And I get the understanding that they're going to feel their kingdom slipping away. And they're going to use fear to make you go deeper into the matrix, hold on to you, make you stay in line, make you, toe the line, man. You know, a dictator, when he see he losing power, then he do the tighten up on you. You better get the jab. You better take the needle. You know what I mean? They do things, then they turn the force. First they deceive you where you volunteer, and then all of a sudden you find out, hey, wait, hold on a second, man. You know, you tricked me. And it's just like the Wizard of Oz, man. Was it the Wizard of Oz? Where that little dog opened the curtain? Or no, wait a minute, I'm thinking of the Twilight Zone. Y'all remember the Twilight Zone? You remember that segment called, what was that segment? That segment? Okay, bear with me a second, okay? Sometimes I get a little, I like to get a little silly. Twilight Zone episode, To Serve Men. Y'all remember this episode of Twilight Zone? Y'all remember this? These aliens came from another planet, and they said, man, it's all good where we at. We ain't got no problems. Ain't no fighting. Ain't no wars. It ain't no disease. It's all, good every day, man. Everything you want is real pretty. It's a utopia. And so people were saying, wait a minute, we want to go there then. We want to go there. Come to find out that it was duped and that the aliens their food was men. To serve men meant how to cooking, that was a recipe to serve man. And so the last part of the video, this woman right here, she find out what the agenda is, and she tried to go tell her husband before, because what they was doing is loading them on the spaceship, right? People wanted to go and see this place, this new land that they were talking about. And then she found out, she came and tried to tell him, and then the big alien here, he grabbed the dude and threw him on the ship, And that's what the deities love to do, man. When you find out when the jig is up, then they turn the force. And that's where we live right now, man. I gotta think, man, that the false gods, they gotta know that the creator is basically telling them, hey, time is up. Your time is up. And the creator, from what I read in the OAHSPE, he don't force, the way he do it is he just blesses on. He just blesses on, and then the other spirits, they see the blessing, and then they want to come into it. And then the false gods, they fight against it. And the creator just keep making a way for his people. And that's how he destroys the false gods. Now, I do read there are battles in the spiritual where the false gods, they get taken, thrown into captivity, which is they go to hell. They have to go to hell. And they eventually have to make restitution for all the people they deceived. Now, I don't know exactly how that works out, but that's what the OAHSPE says. But anyway, the situation, I'm just trying to, the situation in the world today, I feel so sorry for it because it's like people are worn out. And it's hard for you to maybe read, to meditate, to get excited about having come out of the beast kingdom or you face this. It's just like the scriptures say, God to this world will wear out the saints. And we're in a situation right now in the Cosmin era. The OAHSPE calls it the Cosmin era, where we're already going to see great changes. I posted something in the room about some dude, um, um, a near-death experience, um, and they were talking about. Oh shoot! I lost my point. I forget why I brought that out, but anyway, good time for me to go ahead and do the metaphysical reading of the word. Now, let me see. I have a sister. She loves to bless me with the metaphysical word. So I love to try to share the metaphysical word on the videos. I just love the understanding that you get from the metaphysical word. If you can receive it, man. I read something the other day where Jovi, he said that he gives what people can receive to them that can receive. He even said something like he gives the 6-day creation story and the woman coming from the rib. He gives it to those who can receive it. Basically, it's like the creator. He said that men need something to believe in. If they're going to believe in something, they need something. And if they're not going to receive the truth, of the OAHSPE, they're going to need something to believe in. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was reading that this the other day. It's like people, they need something or they'll create something. That's where the Hebrew Israelites, I'm talking about after the flesh, have gone off because even as far back as the golden calf needing to see something, even when you read the OAHSPE, it said that, or even the Bible talked about worshiping gods of wood and stone. In other words, gods that we can see, gods that we can see. Faithists have always held to an oral tradition, but I imagine that we went off too, but we got brought back. I think that's what the OAHSPE is all about, to bring us back to to recount. What do you call that when you reset something? It gets like a compass and you have to repurpose it, or you have to reset it. I think faithists, we've had to be reset. I think that it's been so long since the oral tradition, but immediately when this word got sent to us, I think that we were able to very quickly gravitate to it. But anyway, here's the metaphysical meaning of self-control. It basically means the capacity to direct one's behavior in right ways. Self-control. And then it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's not too much metaphysical about it, but it says one who tries to establish self-control through willpower and suppression never accomplishes permanent results. Self-control is accomplished when all the forces of man come in touch with the divine will and overstanding. Yeah, I believe it. I certainly agree with that. The power of positive thinking, it just always lets you down. But when you have a purpose, the creator is, you have a spiritual purpose, then that's where the strength is. That's where the strength is. I give you an example. Now, I can never stop eating meat, man. I mean, you just wasn't going to get me to do that. But now that I see the OAHSPE, man, it really comes down on it. It says it'll block your spiritual understanding. Now, I don't see how that could happen, but I do believe it. And I was able to put it away right away. And plus, they got like vegan food, plant food out there. And it tastes so much like the real thing. You can even go to Carl's Jr. and they got a plant burger there. You can go to Burger King and they got a plant burger there, you see. So you don't really, I don't, you know, I don't see no suffering really involved, man. I mean, call me crazy, but I don't really see it. It's just the stuff they have out there, man. But yeah, when you do things, you bear up with under the Creator God to do what He says, what He wants you to do. There's added strength. That's where the ability comes from to overcome different things. When it's your will in line with the divine will and overstanding self-control, there's a self-control in the world that usually lets you down. There's a self-control in the eternal spiritual that it really pays dividends. I mean, so far as your overall your attitude, the way you feel. I mean, you can see it, man. The closer you get to nature, the better your overall person is. So anyway, let's see. I self control. So another one that my sister, metaphysical meaning, ahira, ahira. The definition is in a good sense, brother of nourishment, brother shepherd. Okay. Historically, it was a man named Enan, prince over the tribe of Naphtali, while the Israelites were in the wilderness under Moses' jurisdiction. Metaphysical meaning is the central controlling thought. Oh, ahira is being metaphysically used as a central controlling thought at a certain period of man's unfoldment. Now, for me, the central controlling thought is my desire to expose deity worship. I want to expose deity worship with all my heart, man, because what I know about it, you can be the greatest guy in the world, man, and the creator. If you decide to worship a deity, he will let you do it. He will let you do it, man. And I see great people under deity worship, and you think to yourself, man, there ain't no way. There ain't no way that, I have to think. I think that a brother was sharing with me, telling me that, either in this reality or the the spiritual reality we cross over. I mean, I can't think that the Heavenly Father would do people like that, man, who are really good people, man, but they're under a deity. And the brother, uh, he seemed to tell me that they will have the ability to choose to leave, to come out from under the worship of a deity in this reality and even the one to come. And I can receive that. I can receive that. I think that it just will take a little time. If you're in this reality and you're under deity worship, my mind is that you'll come out of it. You're going to come out of it. I just believe it's better to do it while you're here. To do it while you are here, man. I wouldn't want to find out, that I have to wait so many years, and when immediately after I left this reality, I could be a lot farther along than I would have been had I decided to just simply believe in the Creator and to receive the word about worshiping a deity as opposed to worshiping the Creator God. So it's simple for me. Ahira is the central controlling thought at a certain period of man's unfoldment of the strength faculty in consciousness. Strength faculty in consciousness. This very influential thought in leading the individual to give his strength to material thinking. This very influential thought in leading the individual to give his strength to material thinking brings about error conditions, such as weakness, disease, and harmony, thus becomes a brother of evil. And the individual believes himself to be unlucky. On the other hand, when the thought that Ahira signifies gives its sustaining strength to spiritual thinking, it becomes a brother shepherd. it becomes akin to the Christ principle of life and good. The Christ is the true shepherd of the sheep. Okay, so I'll let them get away with that, that he is a shepherd, but again, the emphasis is on Jesus Christ. When he is a son, he's a son. The Jesus Christ of the Bible is a fiction. I know that's not going to sit well, but I don't know no other way to describe it. Now, I believe there were a couple of what I believe are historical Jesuses. One was Zarathustra of the OAHSPE, and then there was I think there was a historical Yeshu, or I don't know how his name was pronounced. Somebody may grab the mic and fill me in on that, some metaphysical or some faithist brother. So, Ahira, a central controlling thought, really either for for righteousness or unrighteousness. Really, is what it's saying here. Hope you can understand what I'm saying. So, Ahira, and another metaphysical word that the sister is sharing with us is Nibshan. Nibshan. And the definition is heated, glowing furnace, and dried, soft sand, light, sandy soil, light soil, fertile. Historically, it was the city in the wilderness of Judah. Metaphysically, it means a group of thoughts, fertile, productive, capable of bringing forth much good, belonging to the wilderness of or uncultivated and undisciplined phase of man's consciousness. So, succinctly, a productive group of fertile thoughts, capable of bringing forth much good. Now it says belonging to the wilderness or uncultivated and undisciplined phase of man's consciousness. So it reads, this group of thoughts has come under the jurisdiction of prayer, praise, faculty for further adjustment. So it's kind of like a wild, undisciplined beginning in the mind of a brother or sister, and it needs to come under refinement. A group of thoughts has come under the jurisdiction of prayer and praise faculty for further adjustment and upliftment. And let's see, it says heated, glowing furnace, suggesting the purifying light and love of the spirit. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace for gold, and a man is tried by his praise. Margin is by that which he prayed or whereof he boasted. That's interesting. That's what that phrase means. A man is tried by his praise or by that which he praises. But how is he tried? Does it mean that he is exposed by the things that he elevates in his thinking and his speaking? I think that's what it's saying. A group of thoughts, Nibshad, a group of thoughts that we have, it's either fertile and productive when we bring it under discipline and cultivation, or it is a group of thoughts that is unrighteousness. I mean, it's unproductive, really. And if we don't bring it under discipline and cultivation, then it can become unprofitable. See, reading this, it makes me think, man, again, some guys, you get knowledge, but your ways don't change. It don't somehow make it to your heart. It don't do something to your heart. Yeah, you got the knowledge, man, but your decorum, your vibration is coming off of you. It's still ghetto. It's still uncultivated, man. It's unrefined. I don't know what went wrong, man. Why are you sending off that vibration? How come you're not refined, man, when you're one of the king's sons? You know, you know, you can't picture the king's son, man, walking around with his pants hanging off his ass. How's that the king's son, man? Isn't the king's son supposed to walk upright, man, and speak with good diction? His manners are impeccable. You know, he's cultured, man. He's cultivated. He's polished. I would like to think that's what a king's son is. You know, why do men? Oh wow, man! Don't get me started. Let me go to the room because I'm ready to do the reading. See if anyone is still in there. So let me go to the room to see if anyone is still in there. All right. All right. Let's see. We got Ace and F. Ace and F. Ace and F. We got the Pisces. Cosmic Cal. A number 4 hitter. And let me see if I can catch up on the chats. Brother Dave. Brother David. Peace, brother. Don't think I'm ever letting you go. Brother Dave, comes across real, I don't know. He's one of them type of guys that's real quiet, And then when he opened his mouth, an explosion comes out. He's your older brother, See, Ace and I said, let me see, let me put her comment up there. She said, that is interesting. I always thought the fruit of the ground were humans, which is why Jehovah did not accept it from Cain. We are fruit of the womb. Maybe these aliens are eating humans. Oh, you might have been referring to the segment of the Twilight Zone. Now, I was kind of just being funny, kind of just trying to make a joke, about how you see, what was I talking about? I don't even remember what I was talking. The point that I was trying to make. I forget the point that I was trying to make. I don't even remember the point that I was trying to make, Ace. Now I got the memory of a goldfish, man. It's about 20 seconds. And then I get it later on in the video and I try to go back and then end up busting up the whole video because I keep jumping around. But yeah, I think that I was talking about false gods and how they do anything, say anything to get you to believe something that's not true or to trap you, to capture you. And that segment in the Twilight Zone was talking about these aliens, and they made their planet sound like we don't have no wars. It's all beautiful there. Everything is lovely and there's no, it's everything you wish it could be. And then at the end of the video, come to find out they came to the planet because they was eating men. And the name of the video was called "To Serve Man." And it reminded me of what's going on in this reality where a deity, you worship a deity, it's like he tell you anything you want. He know how to attract you. And then just he's doing it all just to get you into his kingdom, man. And then when you buck up and you find out the truth, they do it by force. And so I perceive that that's what's going to be the situation in the world today. It's like as this kingdom, as this reality, it meets its conclusion of false gods, man-made gods, that they're going to step up their game and to keep people in captivity. Let me put the link in the room in case anybody want to come in and you want to comment on what I'm on what I'm saying. We don't have to do the reading. If somebody come in and you want to, you have something you want to share on the program, you're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. We can talk about that. And then let me see, Ace and I say, just like Twilight Zone, we are on a farm, sheep, goats, bulls, etc., waiting out turns like the cotton, carbon, the sausage party. Yeah, ain't that a trip? That's very nicely put. I like that. And then Dave says, Creator lets false gods destroy themselves. Yeah, which they do because of their ego and greed. Yeah, I think that's how I see the Creator God right now. He don't he lets you destroy yourself. It's like he let you come to the end of yourself. From what I can see, reading the OAHSPE, he lets you. That's like, there are some brethren, they don't receive the OAHSPE right now, and I say, it's cool, it's all good. The Creator is just going to let them come to themselves, and they're going to see, hey man, I ain't making no progress. I ain't making no progress, man. I keep thinking about them people in Gaza. When are they going to say to themselves, hey man, you telling me I'm worshiping this God, I'm praying 5 times a day, you know, and he can't stop this from happening to me. Why can't you think, man, something is wrong? There's some, I don't know, man. I wouldn't be a good, well, that's why I got brought out, I think. I just can't, I can't understand people sometimes. But let me see. And then Asaph said, could we be those false gods? Think of that. I don't see how we could be sons and daughters. I think that from what I read, there were righteous gods that turned into false gods. You know what I mean? That's what we read all the time in the OAHSPE, man. They started out right, sons, daughters, gods, goddesses, you know, and they got corrupted, man. They switched up. And it's like, man, that's why I wonder sometimes because, if I was born rich, you have to be glad, man, that you weren't born rich, at least for me. Because I don't think I have power to refuse the world if all of that glory, all of that riches, all of that opportunity to corrupt myself, all the drugs that I could do, all the drinking I could do, all the corruption I could get myself involved in. Me personally, if I were to examine myself, I don't think that, I had the moral fortitude to refuse all that. And it kind of helped me explain why I grew up, the circumstances of my life, why I had to go through the things I went through. Because, like the scriptures say, unless I had been afflicted, I think I would have went astray. Knowing me, my mind. But yeah, Dave, I hear you, man. I agree with that. I think false gods, the Creator, he let them destroy themselves. Like they can't rise past the second resurrection because they can only rise to the level of their own overstanding. They can't rise no higher than that. And then let me see. Asana said, "Could we be those false gods?" Okay, I was just talking about that. I think we could be if we make it, and then we end up coming into, the Creator. You say, here's your planet. You are going to be in charge of this planet. There's something about that, man. It makes me think. That's a damn good question, though. I like that. I like the way you thinking, sis. You say, yes, Raquel, blocks your spirit. Okay, you must have been talking about the eating of meat. You say, yes, Raquel, blocks your spirit because it's blood, no matter how much they drain it. Okay, I see. And the life of the flesh is in the blood. So I heard this one mother of a football player, she told her son to stop eating meat. And I think he said, why? And she said that it comes from a beast and it'll put the beast in you or something like that. Now you would think playing football, that would be good. But her answer, I thought it was quite profound. You know what I mean? The Bible, it says the life of the flesh is in the blood, And you look at people today, man, and they have like animal characteristics. people, I mean, the way people can treat each other and feel no remorse, I think that's what you see in wars. And, oh man, I'm late for the reading again, man. Let me go for these, read these comments. Let me see. Elijah, he says, false deities always teach each other's story to fit in with their own self worship. That's why people say these religions seem similar. Very interesting, brother. That's pretty interesting. False deities always take each other's story to fit in with their own self worship. Yeah, that's the way I see it too. That's the way I see it too. That's why people say these religions seem similar. Yeah, it seems like they playing from the same playbook, but they put a little twist in here, little twist there, make theirs seem unique, different. Yeah, I like that, brother. Yeah. I think that the Bible, I think Dave was telling me that they put enough spirituality in there to get you hooked. And once they get you hooked, they got you. And then Ace and I said birds and fish were created on the fourth. Birds and fish were created on the fourth day. Maybe they don't have a soul as the cattle or other animals do. I don't know. I can't say. I can't say. I can't say. I can't comment on that. I don't know. Birds and fish were created on the fourth day. Maybe, just maybe, they don't have a soul as the cattle and other animals do. I think the Bible talks about the different kinds of flesh. I don't know. I can't really comment on that. I can't comment on that. I might confuse somebody. Asenath, if you want, you come on in the room here and talk about what you saying here. Here, you got the link, right? Everybody's got the link, or you can scroll up. You'll see the link. And then Dave said, yes, many false gods were born in like a corp. Many of these false gods were born and live a corporal earth life. Oh, okay. Is that right? I thought that all gods started out righteous, and then they got corrupted. You say they were born, false gods were born and live a corporal. Haven't they all lived a corporal life at one point or another? All gods? Didn't they start out as men? Dave, if you want to come in and explain it, go ahead, brother. Just scroll up. I think the link is up there. Then Elijah, he says, yes, that is true. Free will is everyone's responsibility and a gift. The OAHSPE has made for all of his children to inevitably come to him, making the possibility possible, no matter what path. Yeah, I hear you. That's how I see it too. And then Asenath, she says, not on Jesus, but on Christ. Christ is a principle that we all aspire to gain and be seated in heavenly places. Okay. And then Esu, the priest in the temple of Esu, but a title or a office. Okay, I agreed. I got Dave. I got Dave in here. Oh, Asana. She done came in too. I want to get to what Cosmin said so I can. It looked like we might just have a discussion on video instead of the reading. Let me see. You said I never read. Let me bring y'all in. Let's see. How do I do this? Like that, that, and that. I think that's how you do it. Uh-oh. Looks like it's gonna try to mess up on me. Let's see what happens. Okay, let me read. Let me read. Oh, okay. Cosmo just giving a greeting. Yeah, grace and peace to you, bro. Grace, peace, and life. Nirvanian goddesses. Okay, so y'all talking amongst yourselves. I was recommended for sharing how you showed me in the last show. Sharing how you showed me on the last show. I don't know what you. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know if I know what you're talking about. Okay, but anyway, let me see. My screen is telling me that my connection. I don't know. All right, so Dave, bro, good to see you, brother. Do you want to say something?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing great.
Yeah, Apollo, he was an Earthborn. He went to Etheria and he came back, and he was a true god, uh, Apollo.
But weren't they all Earthborn?
No, no, not all of them. Seth Santes was an Earthborn. I think sometime after the sinking of Pan, I believe, uh, all the gods were one-time humans in Atmospheria because they took over from the Etherian gods.
Oh, okay. So there was a time when the Ethereum gods, they weren't Earth. The Ethereum gods were not Earthborn, is what you saying?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Asenath, what happened to you? Oh, I don't think. I think there's a problem with your connection, Asenath. Were you the one that came on last time looking like a clown? Was that you? If that was you, why do you dress like that? Well, I don't know. To each his own, you know. But so that's interesting, Dave. So they were Ethereal gods, and there were nebulae gods. Is that right? Earthborn.
Yeah. Uh, uh,
So,
Apollo, he was born on Earth, and then he ascended in the third resurrection to Etheria, and he got, I think, was in charge of two or three worlds before he came back as Etherian worlds. Then he came back to do a mission to uh, make people. I think Brother Cosmon could explain that much better than me.
I don't think he. I don't. I think he. I think he just comes in to check in, and I don't think he stays. But hey, Cosman, if you can hear us, come in and straighten us out, man. On Paul. So if he checks in, I'll let him in. I got to figure out how to add more people. Let me do something real quick
uh,
here.
I guess to add more people, you go up and check and see who's on the room, and then click on them, and they should appear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You mean click on their icon or something? Or let me see.
Uh, how did you do it with me?
Well, you must have clicked on the link, and then you show up on my control panel here, and I just click on you, and you come in. He know how to
That's
come in. I think he might have just checked in, and then he took off. So if he hear this, he'll check in. But
so if Asenath is on your control panel, just click on her or him, and then
oh,
she or he should be right in there.
I thought she was already in. I thought, oh, we got Gaia here. I didn't see her. Gaia. She said, oh, she was. Hey, Asenath, come in. Come in the room again. She said there was an echo. Try to come in again. Ace and F, come in again. Yeah, so that's interesting, Dave. You said there were Etherian gods, and there were Earthborn gods.
Yeah. Many of them were earthborn. In fact, all of the gods in Atmosphere's second resurrection now are all earthborn.
Wow, that's a trip, man. Hey, Ace Snaps, I got you in here. Can you hear me, Ace Snaps? I think she might have had a problem, technical problem. I clicked her into the. She should, or I think I got to do something with the people, with the be able to add more people. One second, Dave. Hold on 1 second. Let me try to figure this out real quick. I got her up on the screen. I'm getting close to figuring this thing out. I don't know why I can't bring her up. I don't know. Ace that if you can hear me, I don't know what the problem is. I see you. I see you on the queue, but I can't. For some reason, it's not showing you on the screen. Let me see. If I enlarge it, does that do anything? No. Oh well. I'd have to figure it out some other time. But
She may, Asenath may have her camera turned off.
oh, that might be it. Yeah. Oh, I got Cosman here. Let me bring him in. Hey, bro.
Peace, peace, peace to the righteous gods and Nirvana goddesses. How y'all doing tonight, brothers?
Peace to the righteous God and the righteous whatever you said. And Nirvanian goddesses.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, brother. How you doing, man? Straighten us
I'm
out.
all right, man.
Help us out. Help us out with Paul, man.
Paul?
Yeah.
He's the feds.
Yeah. That's what I thought you might say. Because he was tied in with the elite.
Yeah, and he lied and made up a story about supposedly Yeshua coming back on the road and seeing him. So he couldn't even get his lie straight. So he told it 3 different times, right? And then come to find out that Epaphroditus, right? Epaphroditus is best friends with Josephus, but so is Paul, and all of them work for uh 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 uh, uh um Titus.
Herod? Oh, okay.
No, Titus and Vespasian. They're all employed by Vespasian and Titus. And then I know Paul is a liar simply because he says that a man came back from heaven. And mind you, he claims that he's a Hebrew. Paul claims he's a Hebrew from the tribe of Benjamin. But he says that Jesus came back to him, right? On this path, and he told these 3 different stories. We don't know which one is true, but what we do know is that Jesus, in every version of the story, Jesus is supposed to come back speaking to a Hebrew. Mind you, he spoke Aramaic himself, not even Hebrew. But he came back quoting people like Aeschylus and Pindar, Greek playwrights who had been dead since the 400 or 500 BCs. Remember they said, Paul, don't you find it hard to kick against the pricks or to kick against the
Yeah.
goads? That's
Yeah.
100% taken directly from the mouths of Greek tragedy playwrights like Pindar and Aeschylus. And then you can go right in the Bible and right into the kick against the prick of the goads, press the blue letter, and go look at where it comes from. I ain't make this up. So Paul is trying to say a man who spoke nothing but Aramaic came back after death, and only he seen it, and he heard these words, and he comes back quoting Pindar. And then the crazy part is, before this, Jesus says, if anybody came back to you and said they heard my words, even if I come back and somebody says they heard my words, don't believe them. And yet they believe Paul. So Paul worked for the Sadducees, the sons of Zadok. You know what I mean? And he was one of the infiltrators into first century messianic Hebrewism. You know what I mean? To bring about its fall. He was a sellout, just like Josephus.
Well, I'm just coming into this information. I know the Essenes had a problem with him.
Say, Brother Cosmon.
Yeah.
Apollo, now he was an earthborn, and he came to create the Onwegan's personal attributes, didn't he?
Say it again.
The god Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
He came to form the Onwegans, the Onwees.
And beautify man as a whole.
Yeah. And he was earthborn, wasn't he?
Yes. Yep. Apollo was earthborn.
And that's what I was trying to say.
So let me Asen asked, she look at her post. She said, Jesus said we are all sons of the Most High. That being said, we could very well be the fallen. Now, I would say it depends on what we do, shouldn't it?
Fallen what? That's what I would ask. Fall from what? What did I fall from?
Maybe unrighteousness. Maybe
I would love to fall from unrighteousness.
I mean, yeah, I meant no, I meant like started out righteous and then you become unrighteous. I think what she's saying here, what she's saying here is that we are all sons of the Most High. That being said, we can very well be the fallen. That's a pretty good question too.
Okay, I'm not denying that's true. I'm not going to deny that's true because
if there are earthborn gods, if there are earthborn gods, then aren't we made subject to vanity?
No, you're not made subject to nothing. You did what I'm talking about, but what you choose in your surroundings. I wouldn't deny
well, I think that's the same thing, you know.
Well, let me get it out. Like I said, if I'm gonna take a very broad, vague look, then I could say yes, we could be the fallen because you could fall from anything, right? And the ideal and the understanding that we can also become God, well, then we can also become shaitan. So
Yeah.
I'm not denying what the sister's saying, but that takes into account you must first know what a fallen is and what it means. First of all, the word is Nephilim, right? That
Oh,
means the fallen or those who have fallen away. Well, let me explain to you what a Nephilim is. A Nephilim is nothing but a Raphaim. A Raphaim is a large man. What OAHSPE explains as an Ahuan, right? Any
right.
large man, hold on. So I ain't got to go back over this. Any large man, anywhere in the world, right, called himself at one point Raphaim, right? They're all Ahuans, but they called themselves Raphaim. Now, the only difference, and hence fallen, between a Raphaim and a Nephilim, right? Mind you, they're both men, right? The only difference is the Nephilim went on to circumcise themselves, or hence have fallen away. Now, once you understand that, to breed an Angui, you must have a small person or a iron leaning person and a large person, an Ahuan, to get the mix. You dig what I'm talking about, of a steel copper color, highly advanced people leaning iron, leaning towards the light. So a Nephilim is any man, right, who went against the false, any large man pre-flood that went against the orders of the false gods. He was hence fallen. And it comes out in the end of the story, the truth is, even though they were both bad guys, right? The Nephilim and the Raphaim, they both were liars. They were telling man that they were the sons of God and they were gods and man worshiped them and all that stuff. All that's a lie, even though they did all that, and even though they were eating humans, right? One fought, they both fought against each other, and humanity, our type, came out the winner of the situation of these guys battling each other. Because remember, Og kills Nimrod and becomes the last of the Raphaim. Nimrod is the last of the Nephilim, but the question must be asked, if we have Ahuan genetics, right? Which Ahuans did we breed with? Jaja said he gave the sign of circumcision for women so they wouldn't be confused about who they could breed with, correct? So the iron, I can hear you now.
I hear
The
you.
Hello?
Yeah, the Ahuan stock that they
Yeah, I
would
hear
have
you.
mixed with, the Ahuan stock that they would have mixed with anciently would have came straight from the lines and the descent of people like Nimrod. So when she's saying that we could have been the Nephilim, yeah, but you got to remember, we talking 9,000-10,000 years ago, and those people don't exist anymore. But we do got a remnant of that heritage in our blood stock. Yeah, the Ahuan stock.
Okay, so can I? Can y'all hear me?
It's a
Can everybody hear me?
it's an echo.
It's an echo.
I know. That's what I was about to say. How do I turn that off?
You gotta go to your to the YouTube page that you were just on, that you clicked the link from, and you need to pause it.
Okay, wait a minute.
Hey, Cal, how long you been in the OAHSPE?
11 years.
Good night, man.
So can y'all hear it now? Can y'all hear me now?
No, you sound great.
Yeah.
The echo's gone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So okay, so this was, go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay, this is what I was saying about when I said we're the fallen. Okay, so like I don't know like if everybody here is just like OAHSPE or if everybody is like have read like the Bible, like what religions you all are coming out of. So in the Bible, it's like there's most people don't realize it's two creation stories there. It's the very first one in Genesis chapter 1. And those are like the fallen, the ones who had this rebellion in heaven that came to earth that was rebelling against the creator. They were rebelling against Jehovah. They came here and began their own creations. These were the creations prior to man. So when I'm saying like we're the fallen, if you ever read the book of Enoch goes like into detail about it because he and like Kazman said, like the Rephaim, these ones were the ones who were mating with women, having kids with women, and yeah, they were supposed to be wiped out in the flood. But you got to remember now, because in the book of Samuel, after the flood, it says, well, the book of Genesis says 6:4 that there were giants on the days before the flood and after. So you know why they were there before. So why would they still be there after? It's because people haven't really studied out the bloodlines, because they're looking at the bloodlines as being only coming through males. But some of these Raphaims were females as well. So the question is, was some of them the wives of Noah's sons? Because how could they come to the earth again after? So that when I was saying like we are the fallen, Jesus comes in, and when he's having a discussion with the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the scribes, he tells them, he said, well, he was saying humans, he was saying are sons of the Most High God. And he even says that and now Jesus is in the New Testament, but in Deuteronomy at the table of nations, God himself says that. He tells them, he said, you are all my sons, but you're going to die like men. So you question that, and that's why I put that in the chat when I said, was the fruit of when Cain offered the fruit of the ground, and Jehovah refused it, but he accepted what Abel offered. I said, well, could the fruit of the ground have been humans? Could it have been people? Because why would he reject the fruit of the ground? Because we're not supposed to even eat meat. So if he was offering vegetarian, then it should have been acceptable. So when we know we're the fruit of the womb, we know throughout the book of Daniel that King Nebuchadnezzar, and in the book of Isaiah, kings and these giants were called trees, cedars of Lebanon, lofty men. So we got to look at like some of the things, because of the Council of Nicaea, has been changed, because we're reading this and we're realizing really what they're saying. You know, some people will take it at face value. Some people will be scared to death. Some people won't believe it. So I think everything is like you said. Yeah, the creator has it set where we can understand stuff, but some of it is people think it's allegory, but it's not allegory. It's just above our head, because that's why it says line upon line, precept upon precept, because the answer might not be in one version, but it might be in another part of the Bible. And that's how I came to understand that it was two creations.
Well, the apologists would offer up to say that it's only one creation, and it's just telling a more detailed version in Genesis 2 than it is in 1. That's what they would offer. That's what they would offer up.
Yeah, you're right.
Also,
I heard that before.
also, the story is allegory. It is allegory. And once you find out that it was Cain who was offering the meats and the slaughtered stuff, and not Abel. Abel was offering the fruits, right? And think about this: if your Creator told you, "Do not partake in the blood, and life is in the blood," and that if you he will hold whoever not guiltless for taking the life of anything. You dig what I'm talking about? Well, then he would not accept a bloody sacrifice. He would actually accept the fruits and the grains.
Period.
And then we got to understand that this is allegory. Adam is not a single man. Adam is a people group.
Yep.
Male and female. Well, then so if Adam is a people group, male and female, well, then what is Eve?
So, Cosmo, let me say this before, because I know where you're going with this. So let me say this. I'm just interject this and tell me what your thoughts is on this. So you're right, but if you read Genesis, where it talks about the creation of Adam and Eve, or about the creation of male and female, it don't say Adam and Eve, because like you said, some of the apologetics say that it was just like an expanding on the story in chapter 2. But people miss that part where he says he created him, male and female.
And then he made the other ones. Yeah, exactly. Adam,
him, male and female. People miss that because Isu, or who the world calls Jesus, even in OAHSPE, you get a breakdown that he was an androgynous being, which means he was hermaphrodite with two sexes. So when
that's not what that means.
Listen, because even Selah Shalom got a video on this, because I've studied it out, and it's also in the Quran too. Him and Mary were androgynous beings. So this is why I'm telling you, it's two creations, because in the first part of the Bible, it says God is doing creating. God Elohim, meaning more than one. Whereas in the second chapter, it's Lord God, meaning singular. Jehovah Adonai is doing the creating from the ground. But when it says in part 1, when it says he created him, male and female, it gives you that indication that this is an androgynous being. And I say that because I go back to in the OAHSPE where it talks about Isu being, and even like in the pyramids and
but he's not a hermaphrodite. That's, and if you, I don't think Selah said that.
Whether or not he is or not, I'm telling you. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's not. When they're talking about being ascendant and above his passions and being passionless or sexless, they were talking about being above his passion. You know what I mean? His earthly desire. They're not talking about like he looked like a woman, but it's a man, or he looked like it's a man with a vagina or something. That's not what it's saying. It's just saying he's a physical man who is in ascendancy in his negative nature, or female. He was the prophetic state is a negative state. It's not positive, right? It's the cool state.
I follow you. I follow you all the way. This is where we're going to agree to disagree, because like I said, I'm coming to this conclusion, like I said, because I've been studying this. I wrote books on this. I started this in 2013. I wrote the book in 2018. No, 2000.
What book is that?
It's okay. I have 2 books on it. So I'll put one of them is called Wishing on a Star, because I started studying about the star series. And this is when I came to realize, like, before I ever even knew about the OAHSPE, that there's been different arc cycles on this planet, different races of beings on this planet, that everybody don't come from the same creator. So it led me into that. It led me into Catholicism, where I did research on them. And because Mary, they worship Mary. Mary is really Isis to them, but Isis she's like the mother goddess to them, and she was male female. She had and this is why in the book of Genesis, where it says that it would be God's seed that will put an end to the dragon, but it says her seed, and people always think it's talking about Eve. But how could a fallen woman have a seed that would redeem a fallen race? So whoever the seed was would have to be somebody that came from out of time, like outsourced from time. And if you read the New Testament, Jesus is never saying that his father is the God of Israel. He is saying, I was sent by my father. And he's stark contrast what he's teaching about this God. He's saying, like, because in the Old Testament, this God is wrath, and he's in darkness, and he's jealous, and he's commanding blood sacrifices, whereas Christ is, I'm the last sacrifice. My father is the father of lights. No man has ever seen my father, whereas in the book of Exodus, 70 elders of Israel sat down with the God of Israel. And it says they seen him. And even it says Moses spoke face to face to him. And Jesus says, no man, he says, if you see me, you see my father. No man has ever seen my father. So whoever this being is, he's not coming from that same place, which is why he was having these rifts with the Pharisees, scribes, and Sadducees. And he just outright told them, your father is the devil. And he was saying, you all are seeking to put me to death because I'm trying to expose his truth. And it goes over into the book of Essenes as well as the Nag Hammadi. But a lot of it they've redacted. A lot of it they've changed.
Can I add into this? Either way, it's all a lie. The story isn't true at all. It's an allegory. It has a hint of truth. Let me explain it. Maybe I could, just offer my 2 cents on it. You dig what I'm talking about? Asu, or Adam, is a race of men and women. Mm-hmm. Eve is the angelic host of the very first God of the earth to come down and raise those Adamites up. These were beast-like men. These are the first men.
Yeah, the Nag Hammadi calls it.
Yeah.
Adam, wholly from earth. So the problem with the story is, and I'm not saying that the Bible doesn't hint towards that there's 2 creations. I'm saying yes, that the Bible does hint towards that, right? The Bible does, but that don't mean it's true. And then, but you see how in the narrative, the true narrative is that the angelic hosts were millions of years older than the earth, came down and to learn physical things and to also help raise man up. That's what their whole job was. But think about this. You're 1 million years older than the earth is. You've never lived a physical life. You died as an infant, or you were killed as a fetus. You never lived a physical life. But you're 1 million years older than the earth is. And you're coming back to raise the very first men of the earth up. And because you must, to be a complete God, a all-comprehensive God, you must learn physical things. So there's a time for angels to come back to earth and learn physical things. But Jaja slick and smart. So he sends angels who's never had corporeal bodies.
Yeah, that's
right?
in the New
So guess what happens? Guess what happens when you take on the semblance of flesh and you've never been cold before? Could you imagine 1 million years worth of cold? Or how about you've never been hungry ever? You can't even comprehend what hunger is, but you take on a semblance of flesh, and now you got 1 million years worth of hungry on you. It's the same thing with the sex appetite or the so-called tree of life. You dig what I'm talking about? That's all that is. And even in the allegorical story, the angels still come down and have sex with men or women. You dig what I'm talking about? These so-called fallen, right? These so-called fallen would be your Nephilim.
It is like you said, but think about this, Cosmon. Think about now. Just take this in for a second. In the Bible, it says the sons of God came into women. Now we've known that to mean like sexually, they came into women having sex. But could it be this? The sons of God, being spirit, came into the females of women, becoming males within male spirits within a female body. Now listen to me, because in the New Testament, it says there's things that humans are learning that angels are desiring to peer into, and that goes into what you're saying about them taking on flesh bodies. So every single angel that was birthed into a body, just because that body appears to be one way to us, which to me backs up like all this gender confusion, because that spirit in them is in a body that is not consigned to a male, even though the Bible says the sons of God came into the daughters of men. I never looked at it like they came and had sex with them. I looked at it like their spirit inhabited it. And this is why I said in the group chat about that guy's channel, his name is Marbrin73, because he did a breakdown on it. And this was years after I wrote that book that I wrote. He did a breakdown on it too, in that semblance that there's like everybody you see is not human. I'll just put it like that, like to just kind of bring it to.
I personally, I disagree. I disagree with that. Every human you see is a human. Now, are there soulless people? Possibly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. But the Bible says they came into women. And then there's also an overall dichotomy that's being pushed on people that angels are just men. That's not true. Angels are women too. You know what I mean? Women die and become angels, just like men die and become angels. You know what I mean? It's just a dead man. So when it comes to the ideal that the creator needed help in the beginning, right?
Are you saying that he did need help, or that's what people think he needed help?
No, he did need help.
The creator needed help? That's the OAHSPE.
In the Bible. In the Bible, yeah.
I never read that, because like I said, the first creation is not Jehovah. It's God. It's
exactly.
Elohim.
It's somebody else. It's a group of deities
but
who are doing the creating.
The Lord God, Jehovah, does all his work on his own. That's why he keeps saying, I'm only one. It's only me. I'm the everlasting. I'm the Alpha, the Omega, the Aleph, the Tav.
He can't be. He can't be. You want me to tell you why?
No, yeah, tell me.
You want me to tell you? Because he stopped.
Stopped what?
Creating.
Okay, when did he stop creating?
Didn't he? On the 6th day.
That's not Jehovah.
Ceased.
Jehovah, it says
exactly. But hold on, yes it is. Yes it is. Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait. Let's get this overstood. That is Yahweh of the Bible.
No.
That is the capital Lord. Yes, it is. Who ceased on the 6th day.
Okay. I don't know. Let me check that, because I'm going to see if it says Lord or God stopped on the 6th day. Let me check that real quick.
So what is that issue here?
No,
what are
there is no issue.
Um,
It's just misunderstanding because until you understand that Enoch is not a man. Enoch ain't no man. Until you understand Noah ain't a man. It's really hard to understand these stories when they're purposely told lies.
mhm. Well, I
The
definitely
Bible
agree
is a
with that. But
purposely told lie.
I definitely agree that there is, and it's because of things like classism, racism, and things like that. The reason why it was taught that way, to keep people in subservient types of situations, to keep people in a mindset of reaching outside of oneself for your salvation. But even with all of that being said, what is real in the Bible, like I always tell people, God equals government, Lord equals law. So if you place those words in the Bible when you're reading those things, then it kind of gives you an idea of what's taking place. Okay, so
God equals government, you said? Where's that at?
God equal, just when you read in the Bible and you read those words in the Bible, look at the context of what's being said. So anytime you're reading God, it's a group. It's Elohim. It's more than one. So it's a government. It's a council that they're speaking about. Whereas Lord
But
is
God
law,
said, but hold
because
on, how is that true when God says there is no gods beside me?
well, again, he is not a God. He is a creator. And that's why I said,
we got a
that's
discussion
why,
going.
that's why I said that he is,
It
when it
sounds
comes to
confusing.
Lord God is doing real creating that these fallen gods cannot duplicate. That's why
What if
only,
the Lord of the Bible, the Yahweh of the Bible, is a false god too?
well, okay, I'll put it like this. In the Bible, in certain
Or I would put it to you like this. Let me answer before you go to that. Let me ask the question this way.
Mhm.
If I was to say, how would you prove, yay or nay, that Yahweh of the Bible is a false or a true God? How would you prove that?
Context. It's the same way with the OAHSPE. So in the Bible, when Jehovah, the true God, the true creator is speaking, his words are more eloquent and they're more geared, centered towards man. Whereas when it's speaking and saying the Lord, capital Lord, he's all about vengeance, anger. I'm going to destroy, kill the kids, go in and rape the virgins, raise the village.
But
You
that's
Israelites,
Yahweh of the Bible.
no, sir. Listen to what I'm saying. Just like you
That
said,
is
everything.
Yahweh.
Just like you said, everything is allegory. It's laced. Just like in the New Testament, there's two Christs there. You understand? One Christ comes. He says, "I come in the name of my Father. You will not accept me." But the one coming in his own name, you'll accept. So the one who came in his own name was Jesus Christ. But when the Iesu came in his Father's name, which that Father is outside of time, that Father is the true Jehovah, the Creator, the omnipresent, the one all people and all beings and everything that lives and exists. There's two stories side by side. One of them is earthbound, earthly creations. These angels are creating humans, trying to mimic the true creation. And therefore, there is the angel of the Lord who is doing all these atrocities. But when you read it, you have to be able to decipher it by character because okay, so the Septuagint, when it was translated from Hebrew, and then they translated it back, they changed the true names in the Bible and they replaced them. But prior to that, if you looked at it, you would be able to discern quickly who it is. Just like I put that scripture in the chat.
Well, I just want to show you context is key, right? Context is key. And I want to show you that it is Yahweh, the Lord, in the Bible doing all the killing.
Okay, but before you do that,
so hold on. Let's go to Samuel.
Okay, wait.
Go to Samuel.
Cosmon, before you go there, I'll go there with you, but listen. Genesis 1:31 says, God looked at what he had done. All of it was very good. Evening came and morning came. That was the sixth day. Now, this says God with the capital G-O-D. The Masons call God, that G stands for geometry, but it's a female god that they worship, the Baphomet, which is Isis, the dual nature, the black and the white.
The Israelites worship the same God, though.
Yeah, they do, but they don't know it.
Yeah, it's the Baphomet.
Yeah,
it's the Baphomet.
Absolutely, I agree. That's why I came out of it. Okay,
Yeah.
so now,
Like I'm saying, the overall understanding that you got to get is Creator never spoke in the Bible, never, not once,
at all. Not once.
Right?
A
Lord is not the Creator. Neither is God. Neither is Lord God. None of them are the Creator. And if context is key, Samuel 15:3 says, smite Amalek utterly, destroy the men, the women, the children, and the suckling babies. And this is the Lord's word.
Okay, so let me go there.
Yahweh.
Let me go there with you real quick. See where you at. Hang on one second.
Samuel 15:3.
What version you in? King James?
You can go to it don't matter. It say the same thing.
No, I said that
either
because
way.
It does because they change it like in the newer versions. Okay.
Well, if you think King James, softens the killing of a child, well then
no, King James don't soften anything. I said they change it like in the newer versions is what I say. Okay, but let me look at it because that's 3, and I don't see Lord or God in 3. So let me go ahead of it. Okay, so in verse 2.
No, it's 15:3.
I know, but in
who
3,
is he talking to? That's Samuel talking, right? It says the Lord is talking to Samuel.
Okay, let me go to 3 then, because 1 Samuel 15:3. 1 Samuel 15:3. Now go and smite. Okay, so it's not saying who's talking here. It's a directive being given here. So that's why I said I went back one.
Go back up to 1 then.
I went up to 2.
Go to verse 1, 15:1.
In 15:2, it says, the Lord of hosts. So the Lord of hosts, like I said, is Jehovah's representative on the earth. He is the one during the creating in chapter 2. He is the one they call the Lord of hosts, the angel of the Lord, whereas these gods in chapter 1, they're a council, and that head council is the one they call God. This is where the name Israel comes from. Isis, Ra, and El.
No, that's actually not where it comes from. It comes from the tribe of Iz and Zerl.
Okay, predated. Did you get that from the OAHSPE?
Yeah, 3953 BC.
Okay, is that from the OAHSPE? Where you get your information?
Yeah, and the word Israel itself is 100% Egyptian.
Yes, it is, and that's why I said it's Isis, Ra, and El. Okay,
but it's not. It's not. Okay. It's not right. Isis, Ra, and El.
Okay,
it's Israel, and it's the Geese interpretation, or what is the Eba, EBA, not Ebra, EBA pronunciation of the words is and Zerl.
Okay, we ain't gonna hang up on that one. What I was trying to say, either way, was there's a Godhead right there. There's 3 of them. That's where this Godhead comes from. This dynamic of the triangle. It's the Trinity that it starts in chapter 1 with more than one creator, the pluralized version. And it's laced throughout the whole Bible, even in the book of Daniel, when Daniel was talking and he's given Nebuchadnezzar the breakdown of his dream. He says he called Daniel because he says Daniel has the spirit of the holy gods with an S in him. he says he speaks like the holy gods. But when it's just talking about the God of Israel, it's always one. The Shema is one. It's just one. I'm one. I'm the
Except when
Lord.
it's Elohim.
I'm just with yeah, because when it's Elohim, it's more than one. But he is never. But the Lord of hosts, or Adonai, is always giving directives. He's never taking directives from them. So he, even throughout the Bible, is lace. He's showing you, I'm going after them, I'm destroying them, I'm breaking down their camps. So that people look at the when he says destroy Amalek for what he did. So why is he destroying Amalek, and where did that bloodline come from? Because these bloodlines, like you said, was traced. As far as we've been taught, it was Cain was the bad guy. Cain was the bad guy. These different was the bad guy. But if you read it in context and look at the lands that they're really in, even when they change it, you will know that it's been a change. Like, it doesn't make sense for some of the things that's happening. And it's like when the Lord is telling Jeremiah, and I'm sorry, Isaiah 66:3, where he says, for you to kill an ox, it's like you killed a man. He said, if
right,
you kill,
Creator doesn't kill.
Right. And this is why you know when it's changing.
None of those people you speaking about in the Bible are the Creator. This is how you know, because the Creator can't be God. The Creator can't be Lord God. The Creator can't be Elohim. He's above those things. He creates those things. And God, and if man is what God is, right? If you die as you know, you live as gods but die as men, and didn't I also tell you ye are also gods, right? So whatever a god is, it is not the Creator.
No.
Right. So like I'm saying, the whole story, trying to explain a story that was never meant to make sense.
Well, it was meant to make sense because
no, it wasn't. It was meant to trick people, and not the people of that time, to dupe us later, to just be above your earthly knowledge, so you would stop asking questions and stay stuck in belief. That's the whole purpose of the story.
I started this discussion out by saying that what you just said. But I also said
no doubt. We're not saying nothing different. You asked them. The question is about. We got so far away from the topic. The question is about, is man Nephilim? I said, in a sense, in a broad, wide sense, anything, right, that is fallen away can hence be Nephal or Nephilim. You dig what I'm talking about? Anything.
Yeah, but I wanted you to understand it's more than just. I know what you're saying, Cosmo. I ain't arguing that point.
So I was just trying to see what did you want me to understand?
That it's more than just that. It's about this whole. When I said the Bible is meant to be understood, because we have been with the Bible, with the Quran, and with Judaism, we have all been linked into a religion and an order of worship. But it's never been about religion or orders of worship. It's been about bloodlines. It's been about royal.
I think it's been about religion and about service of and praise to men. And God is a man also. So we would just have to disagree on that point. We would just have to disagree on that point.
God is a man. The Creator is not a man.
Okay, all right. Well, what I'm saying is the Creator ain't in the Bible.
But I'm telling you that
there's nowhere Creator is at in the Bible. Nowhere. And nor did not one Israelite write a word in it.
And I'm telling you, you're gonna let me talk.
No, I was just saying, you be going on a little bit, so I tried to get it in and let you go.
Get in here. All right, we need a timeout. Okay. No, I'm saying it's about bloodlines, and this is like these are ancient bloodlines, and the reason why when we're here, like where the Lord of Hosts is saying, go in and destroy this tribe, kill that tribe, it's about who's trying to rule this planet. And you are right when you said it's about them causing us to serve men, but these men are part of the fallen, and that's why I bring it back to when Jesus was
That's
telling
what I said. I said
well, that's
that the
what I'm saying.
Nephilim. That's what I said. The Nephilim taught men to praise them. They're men, though.
Yes, but
100%
they're not
men. They are Ahuans. They are living flesh and blood men that can die.
Are you okay?
They're not angels. And the sons of God, that the sons of God are what is one of the terms that the Nephilim were called. Right? Why they call themselves the sons of God is to dupe man into praising them. These are the type of angel beings that go on to write Quran, that go on to write Bible, that go on to write the Mahabharata. You dig what I'm talking about? This is your triune gods. This is Kabbalactus, Inochisa, and Luamon, aka the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. They're demons.
Created in Genesis 1. Of course they are. And that's what I'm telling
you. It's 4 beings. It's not 3 in the beginning. It's 4.
Well,
it's Anu. Let me tell you who the gods are. You want me to tell you who the Elohim are?
No, because I have the OAHSPE, so I know.
Hey, Cosman. Hey, bro, you're kind of overpowering. You know what I mean? You got to learn to.
No, he's fine. I'm used to dealing with people like him all the time. I got 4 brothers. He is not overpowering me. He is fine.
Let me say this. I love what's going on, but I am big on people being able to talk to one another with a certain amount of decorum. Okay.
No, he's fine. He's passionate about
you know what?
I'm a big fan of.
Hold on? Wait a minute. You think I disrespected you, sister? Did I come at you wrong? Am I missing something?
No. It's not really about her, Cosman. It's not about her.
It is about her if I disrespected her.
No, I'm saying that I'm somebody desperately trying to learn what y'all talking about. I mean, but I'm missing a lot because of the way y'all are interacting. I'm missing a lot. I'm desperately trying to hear. There's a lot of wisdom that you brethren you know what I mean, brother and sister, are sharing. And I would like to get the full meat out of what both y'all are saying. But I can't do
it's like we having a conversation with each other and everybody else is out. I get it. Like we talking.
Yeah, I'm just learning. I'm just trying to learn this stuff, and I can't. It's hard for me to when y'all going back and forth like that. It's hard on me. I'm actually. I'm
it's fine.
I'm actually sitting here. I'm trying to write this stuff down. You see what I mean? Okay. And it's killing me trying to write notes of what y'all saying. So I'm just saying, if y'all could just, give each other a little space and try to be as concise as you can, then anyone who hears this video is probably going to be able to get it real good.
Yeah, you know what? I thought I was. You dig what I'm talking about? If I'm not being concise enough for you, you know what I mean? I'll try to. I don't know what I'm gonna do except tell the truth some more. But you know what I mean?
Just keep speaking.
I'll try to.
Talk a little slower is what he's saying. We talking too fast.
Oh, all right.
All right, well, go ahead, Cosman, and finish telling about the.
I forgot where I was at.
I want y'all to moderate each other.
No, I'm
while
telling
I,
I
him
think we were.
He was,
while I sit here and take notes.
well, just go ahead back to the 4 creators and the being. That's where you was at in the beginning.
I'm just saying that in the beginning there's 4 Elohim. It's not 3.
Okay. Go ahead,
Right.
break them down. Because
It's
Elijah said,
Anu-Hasaj, Osiris, Tien, and Sugga. These are the guys who figure out the story that they're telling you in Genesis. None of it happened. And the proof of that is Bible is not even a primary source for the information it contains. So it comes from an even older story, right?
mm-hmm.
Which comes directly out of Mesopotamia. You dig what I'm talking about? So we find out that the very first time even Adam was called Adam was by Osiris.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody had ever used that term since man been on the planet to call the first man that. Osiris did that circa 2750 BC.
Mm-hmm.
He's the very first person to call. So when they say, how can we call ourselves wise and the pens of the scribes do avail much? Well, who the lying scribes are, they're Egyptians, 100%. And as a matter of fact, the whole book of Genesis and Leviticus is 100% the story of the Egyptians, the enemy of the Israelites. And as I told you before, not one Israelite wrote a word in that whole Bible, and yet it's being applied to them by the Jews of Babylon.
I agree.
Right? The Jews aren't Israelites. They never have been.
I agree.
Right? So the story is a usurped story, repackaged and re-rocked and given back to you in religion, so it could be just above your comprehension level. This is why, for instance, God or Elohim in the beginning tells you he creates an earth, but doesn't tell you how he does it. Mm-hmm. This is why he tells you things like to test the spirit, right? But then doesn't turn around and tell you how to test the spirit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because this is why the Prince of Peace in Matthew 10:34 can turn around. The same guy who's telling you don't praise me, praise the guy who sent me, is now turning around telling you I'm coming to send a sword, and your mother and your father are going to be your greatest adversaries, and they're going to kill you.
There's two beings in the Old Testament again. There's 2 different
There's
beings.
more than 2 beings in the Old Testament. First of all,
there's 2 beings under that title of Christ. There's 2 beings. But okay, wait, hang on.
I don't see Christ in the Old Testament. Where you see Christ at in the Old Testament?
Hang on 1 second. What was you saying? Go ahead. He was trying to interrupt us. I was trying to let him have his thought.
Yeah, see, Cal, that's what I mean, man. You know, I tried to interject with a question, but you just kept on going, bro, and I forgot the question. See, that's what I mean. I have a real problem, man, when people talk to one another, and like you obviously know a lot. Now I'm sitting here trying to take in what you learn. What you ought to learn to do is stop yourself and say, does anybody have a question? Because if you just keep going and going, bro, you go from one thing to another, and brethren like me, we can't catch up.
I understand, but hold on. Me and the sister is having a conversation. She says she understands. So we was having a conversation.
Hey, bro, I can dig that. Okay, but
you dig what I'm talking about. So I'm not slow on the draw. So,
bro,
I try to, just.
You both know what you're talking about. Both of you know what you're talking about. You know, bro, I'm all new to this. If anything, you should be digressing to me to help me to see that I'm getting the. You two can talk, but you ought to adopt to your conversation style, like or see if brethren if they have a question about what you're saying to make yourself easier to follow. Because again, bro, you got to be more sensitive to brethren like me who realize that you got a lot to share. Now, I'm just trying to come up, and I your style is it's a bit overbearing. It's a bit it's a
It
bit
is.
it's a bit high
It's a bit
high.
harsh.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh.
I'm a bit fiery. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You're correct.
Yeah, but I'm
We're gonna add some milk tonight because you're gonna be everybody's cup of tea because people trying to learn here, Cosmon. So
right. I'm trying to I'm trying to appeal to you, brother. I'm trying to appeal to you, okay? That
but we have to get the
if
bat.
if a brother can sharpen another brother, okay, then take heed to what I'm trying to share with you, okay? I'm saying is that if you could try to interject in your discourse style, just maybe take a break, or does anybody have any questions about what I'm saying? And then that's commendable as long as we can get it. But if you keep going, man, and and brethren ain't really, it's like, oh man, he said this and then he said something else, then he said something else, then he said something else. It really, it's like all in vain, I'm just saying, bro. If you try to be a little, you obviously your thing should be to help brethren like me get to where you are. But you don't leave no room for that. A lot of times. You have to I don't know what the word is.
Just
what do I have to do?
You have to perfect yourself.
You gotta talk a little slower.
No. It's not. It's just to be more sensitive. That
no, that's just how That's just how he talks.
I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. Okay, Yaquab Israel is trying to learn. Okay.
I get you. I get you, bro. I get you, but you ain't the only person listening. You dig what I'm talking about? I know you at this point, but you got to kind of stop being a little selfish, just talking about what you want. You haven't thought about what but hold on, bro. You haven't thought about what I want the whole time.
Ain't no hold on, bro. See, that's the thing, man. Now you got me all bent out of shape. You calling me?
No, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Calm down, man. Calm down, bro.
Time out. Everybody go to their own corner. Everybody go to their own corner and take some deep breaths.
That's what I am talking about, bro.
We're going to take some deep breaths.
You can't be so sensitive, though, bro.
This is important information. Everybody want to hear it. So everybody go back to their brother's corner. They start fresh. Count down from 10.
Can you hold on
from 10. Everybody count down from 10. We're going to go to our corners, take a deep breath, because everybody needs to hear this. Everybody needs to hear this.
Hold on for a second, would you please? Okay, and let me talk to this brother. All right? Now, look, bro, all I'm saying is that if you're going to start putting labels on brethren because they're trying to express to you some things that can make the thing go better, I got a real problem with that, man. You don't need to be sitting there calling me,
I didn't call you anything. I didn't call you I didn't call you nothing.
You just got finished saying.
I said the whole time you haven't thought about what I wanted in the conversation at all.
Hey, bro, the problem, the other problem I'm having is the problem that you getting all upset. You getting all.
I'm not upset, bro. Hey, you know what? Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead, man. I'm gonna go ahead, bro.
You got to
It's
stay
all-
with
I'm
us.
gonna go
We
ahead.
gotta finish having this
Obviously,
conversation.
what I'm doing is not vibing with what you doing, right?
Hey, bro, you know, I could tell when a man gets upset, man. You know
I'm
what I'm
not
saying?
upset, bro.
You
This is
don't
what I'm
need to,
saying. You're getting upset, and I don't want to do that to you.
bro.
I want
You
both of
getting
y'all to
upset because
go to your
I
brother to the
talk loud.
corner.
Hey, bro, it
You
didn't
getting
need to go.
upset because I talk loud, or the way
See,
I deliver information is not up to your snuff.
see, listen, bro. I'm old enough to
Come on,
know.
bro, man.
I'm old enough to know when somebody is upset. The way you talk, you're getting all high energy on me, bro. You don't need to do that. We never need to get to this point. All right. All
All
I
right, well,
said.
stop.
All I
Stop judging. Hey, listen. Okay, hold on, bro. Listen, bro. I'm a grown man too. I get what you're saying, right? And I'm not upset.
see,
And I
Dave.
tried to just go ahead and push back against what you're saying. You did what I'm
See,
saying. Now you didn't like when I held the mirror up to you.
hey,
Come on,
bro.
You
y'all.
didn't like
Let's
that.
finish this. Y'all
So
do
this
that
is what I'm
later.
saying,
Let's
bro.
finish this
Stop.
discussion.
Listen,
Dave.
I will listen to your ideals. I will listen to your ideals. You did what I'm talking about, and I understand. I get it. I didn't come a long way. If you think I'm fiery now, bro, you couldn't have even took me 5 years ago.
Okay,
Hey,
so
bro.
now let's have it tonight. Can we all
If
go
you,
to our corners?
if
Because
you,
other people want to learn, and we can do
I'm
that.
good. I'm
Ace
good.
and I,
I'm not upset.
it's
I understand what you're saying, and
the fact,
I'm listening, and I'll take the advice in, and
hey,
I'll try to adjust myself accordingly.
the
Okay,
fact
thank
that,
you. So now
brother,
let's go
the
finish
fact that,
your
Ace
discussion.
and I,
And then we can go
please, please, Ace and I, please, I'm begging you. Sometimes brothers got to have a talk. All right, please.
on. Okay.
Now listen, brother, I'm trying to just say, look, man, if you are a spiritual brother, all right, I would think that it is your desire to glorify the light. And a lot of times that means we have to be more being spiritual. It calls for us to digress to people who we're teaching. And you got to be careful with the message you carry, man. See, Dave, he left the room. He's gone now. That means
I
that
was about
all
to
your,
leave the room.
for all of
I
your
was about to
wisdom,
leave the room. So,
but bro, hey,
look,
that's
bro, I get it, bro. You don't got to keep saying the same thing over and over to me. I
your
get it.
decision.
Don't leave the room,
That's
Cosmo.
your decision. But when you have the knowledge that you have, then it is incumbent upon you to what how the saying goes in the world, to lower yourself to the level of people who are listening to you. It requires some responsibility on your part. Your style, see, all I started out saying, like, okay, Ace and I, she said that she wanted me to ask my question. I was trying to interject. And then you kept going, and I forgot the question. I just stayed silent. I was just going to let it go. But then when she brought me into it, and it's like you just wouldn't let me just try. And I haven't hardly said anything. But you got to understand, if you know a lot, bro, you have to kind of like lower yourself to the level of the people who are listening to you, or else it's no good. The message ain't going to get across. I'm not here to make enemies. I'm just saying that sometimes we got to humble ourselves. We got to be
Yeah,
careful how we present.
you do know a lot,
How
so I
we,
understand.
how
That's why
we,
I'm trying to keep him in the room.
we have to be careful how we present ourselves. It's more important so that the message can go out. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to. You don't need to leave and get so up. You want to leave and bro, that
No,
ain't
I
even
was
necessary.
just going to stop the confusion. I was going to stop the confusion because obviously what I'm saying is not being heard.
No, I was getting
Right?
it. That's why I wanted to. That's why I wanted to talk to you, because I'm getting
Okay,
it.
but bro,
Yeah.
you ain't got to. You don't have to preach at me.
See, your
This is what I'm
attitude.
saying. You got to listen. Hold on. See, you getting in your feelings already, man. Just calm down.
Man, now I'm
Calm
getting in my.
down.
Hey man, I'm gonna just be
Right.
quiet and let
You tried to say I was in my feelings, but it seemed like you upset.
bro. I am. You have got me bent out of shape because of the way
Okay,
you
well
talk.
then that's not what I'm trying to do, bro.
Okay, well, I'm
That's
telling you
not what
how
I'm
you
trying to
cannot
do.
do it.
And I can't
I'm
get a
telling
word
you
in
how.
edgewise.
I'm telling you how we can put an end to this. All right.
Okay, well then okay, you done told me 3 times though. Can I say
Okay. What did I
something?
tell you? What did I tell you?
Bro, you told me there's a way that you could go ahead and humble yourself down and get the information across better. I get it. I get it, bro.
It's
I'm
just,
really
bro.
quick on the draw.
The tone of your voice, man. Well, you get back what you put
Like
out.
I said, I'm not everybody cup of tea.
Well, you
But
ought
I'm
to try
not.
to learn to be
that's
everybody.
okay. Listen, Cosmon,
No,
you pick
no.
up
Or
as
watch me
many
say, don't
words.
proselytize. I don't. See,
Bro,
and see,
I
this is where we get
understand
in.
that, man. But I mean, why can't you see, man, that it's a good
Why
idea?
can't you see that I see
What do you see?
what
That he's ready to pick
exactly
up
what
at
you're trying to
Genesis
say,
1 and
but you
finish.
won't let me get a word out edgewise.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm not. You two just go on, man. I'm gonna just try to keep up with.
This is why I was just going ahead. I was gonna let y'all build, and I was gonna fall back. So you
Hey,
ain't in your
Cal.
feelings. You
Cal.
don't feel
Hey,
like I'm
Cal.
just trying to push you
Hey,
off to the
Cal.
side, or I'm not trying to hear what you're trying to say.
Hey, Cal. Your tone of voice, man. If you don't get it, I can't help you, man. You're
You're right.
welcome to.
You're
You
right.
know,
Well,
you're
maybe I
welcome.
don't need help.
Hey,
Well,
Cal.
I need you to go to Genesis 1 and finish talking about the
You,
4 creators.
you two just go on, man.
Nah,
You
man, it's all good, man. Hey, look, love and
know,
light out there, man. Y'all breathe in, let the light in, man. I'm Cosmon, y'all. I'm out, man. Y'all have a good night, man. Be safe.
are you still here, Ace now?
I'm here, yes.
I'm sorry you had to hear that. I'm really sorry you had to hear that. But
Oh,
there are
no,
some times where guys they have to kind of have it out with each other.
yeah.
And
But
he's
he wasn't bothering me at all. Trust me. Like, I mean,
okay, but
I
he was
understand what you're
bothering.
saying. Yeah,
But he was bothering me though. See,
right.
and his attitude, his attitude, it just needs some work. I mean, it's hard to talk to a brother like that. It's
Yeah.
hard, man. You know, and so I'm sorry you had to. I'm sorry for anybody listening to this video that you had to hear that. I'm really sorry for that because that's not my style. But you know, I apologize to you, brethren. So I might as well. Hey, Asana, if you want to summarize what the two of you were talking about, I'd be willing to hear it. And I hope that you keep coming into the room because I was sitting here amazed at the amount of overstanding that was going out. And I was kind of afraid. I might have said something earlier, but I was afraid. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. That if I spoke up about the tone of the conversation, I knew it was going to come to this. So
Yeah.
it just got to a point where I just had to say something, and hopefully the brother will chew on what I was saying and humble himself and learn how to have it. I've heard him on other discussions,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of hard to deal with, man. It's just like, sound like a brother with high blood pressure or something. I don't know, but
No,
when
he's
you
just
have,
fine. He's just passionate about what he believes, and and I have family members like that, and I'm patient with him because I used to be like that. talking over people, like interjecting my thoughts, because wisdom will do that to you. But he wasn't bothering me. I'm sorry that he upset you on your show, because I really did want to have that discussion with him, because it's such a big dynamic, because people can, this is what I say. People cannot just, I love the OAHSPE. I love the Nag Hammadi. I love the Gospel of the Essenes, but we cannot just dismiss the Bible and say it's all blatantly wrong or it's all blatantly no good and we shouldn't use it, because it's a reason why when presidents are sworn in, they put their hand on the Bible. It's a reason why in a courtroom, they put their hand on the Bible, because this Bible has truth in it. And this Bible is determining the future of mankind right now. I don't care what books we pull in. I don't care, even if we say we have to obey the Creator, Jehovah, only Him, and it's true, and that's all we should pray to is the Father. But a system has been set in place, and it's a system that isn't 6,000 years old, like they tell us. This is an ongoing, everlasting system, and there's going to be
something you said. I agree with you. Is I believe that the scriptures have a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in it too. I don't think it's all lies. I mean, I know what he was saying though. I know what he was saying.
Well, it's definitely been changed and edited for the victors to keep winning. But the thing is
I think there's a lot of truth in there in order to.
And what I'm saying, we would have to be foolish to believe that a creator who created us with all the things that mankind has right now that we create ourselves, that a creator who is much grander than us created us just to be destroyed and misused by fallen gods. And I say that because for us just to be destroyed and used, the creator would have to be wicked too. He would have to be wicked just to continue to allow it to happen.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was trying to follow y'all's lines of thought.
Yeah. Cosmon, come back in the room. I see you commented in the chat. Come back in, because I want you to finish talking about I want you to finish talking about the creation.
Hey, you here, man? Come back. Get back in the room, man. You didn't need to leave like that. Just come back in the room, bro. But anyway, the way I look at the Bible is like I think that there's y'all were saying a lot of things, man, that was just, it showed me that I was getting overstanding. It's like I'm trying to catch. It's like, I don't know how to say it. It's like I'm being caught up, because it's like some things y'all were saying I was getting naturally. Like
that's spirit led, and that's why I say you can't just discount the Bible, because the Creator Jehovah says, in the last days I will pour out my spirit on every sort of flesh. He didn't just say on the Israelites. He didn't say on the blacks, the whites, the Jews. He said every sort. So that means like even our babies and our kids, they will have moments of prophesying, dreams that they will know that's going to take place. So
let me ask you a question. I'm sorry. Can I interject something real quick? ASNA, and I think you have your own YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, but I don't post nothing on there.
Oh, okay. You sound familiar. Let me ask you this. What do you think about April 8th? Do you think that our energy is going to change?
But so in the Bible, again, I always have to go back to the Bible too, because these are, the Bible talks about testaments being open in the book of Revelation, scrolls being open. So for centuries, we've just been using like the two testaments, like the Old Testament and the New Testament. But in the last days, we've opened testaments like the Dead Sea Scroll, the Nag Hammadi, the Essenes Gospels, the Mahabharata, I can't say it, the Book of Thoth, the the acropolis,
Oh,
you know.
emerald tablets. The
Yes, yes. So
it's so
these are, so when it comes to these scrolls being opened, it talks about a new heaven and a new earth being created. So we know that these eclipses we're seeing, they're for something. And anytime new heavens and new earths are being created, Lucifer, who is the light bearer, the giver of light, our spirits are heightened and heightened. That's the whole goal of man, to become ethereal creatures, or to become like gods again, to become back from our fallen state. But they spray the skies with these chemtrails and all these things to hide the natural effects of what the sun and the moon and the stars do to us. These things are to upgrade us. We're not having those upgrades. So far as April 8th, when that eclipse comes, it's going to be hard to say, because if it's powerful enough to break through the atmosphere, we might get those upgrades into our DNA, and that would be wonderful and fine. I hope so. But at this point, we all just going to be, we don't know, because even though it's crossing over America, like, is all America going to receive these upgrades? Or, because I know it's like in Ohio, it's a lot of people are coming to Ohio and they're getting rooms already and everything because they want to be in Ohio. But I mean, we that's just something like we just gonna have to wait and see. Like, so that's my thing on it. But yeah, I do believe it'll be like we'll have upgrades in our DNA. Yeah, I definitely think so.
you think that it's of the creator, the April 8th eclipse? You think it's of the creator? Do
Well,
you think the creator's doing that, or do you think that somehow the false gods are doing that?
well, and that's what I said before in the chat, that it could be the false gods, because you got to remember in the book of Enoch, the true God, Jehovah, he's punishing. He caused, like, so when he's talking to the sun in the book of Enoch, the sun, he says this sun, the sun and the moon and some of the stars, they have appointed times to come out and do what they're supposed to do. And he is saying that these planets and stars didn't do what they were supposed to do. So you're wondering, like, well, why would the sun or the moon shining affect what the creator, why would that bother him? So when you realize is that these are heavenly planets and stars and stuff, they're heavenly beings. So what we see is their representation as a star, as a planet, as the moon, the sun. But it's a powerful being, an entity. It's not just the sun or the moon. So when they're rebelling on him, and he's talking to them in the Bible, and he's talking about the stars in the Bible and how they'll fall and how he's going to destroy them, they're not literal planets he's talking about. He's talking about these angelic hosts of heaven. And that's what I wanted Cosmon to break down on part 1, because once he goes into it about the Elohim being more than one creator God in chapter 1 of Genesis, you realize that being that they created, these races of beings, they're androgynous people. They look like humans, but they're like what do you call that? They have like this mitochondria DNA where they are like, they're like reptiles, like they can produce their own children. They don't need to have a mate or a partner. And
Okay, but let me if you don't mind, let me bring you back. Let me take you back, because I'm kind of stuck on April 8th, and now you said that it's within the capability of the false gods to manipulate the planets like that, right? I mean, because I was talking to another brother, and he said that it's he attributed these types of things to the protection. I mean, you know, the movement of the planets, the vibrations of the planets. I think that my question basically, and I think you answered it, but I want to get some clarification on it. So you think that, I mean, you don't see anything to it? Is that what you're saying?
no, I don't say I don't see anything to it. It's something to it. Anytime the world is building something up as big as this, and this has been going on since 2017 when the first eclipse crossed America. And people have been looking out for this to the point where the Vatican has created a telescope they call the Lucifer to watch this thing. So it's not just something that is a fly by night. This is something real. This is an event that's going to be worldwide. It's going to affect mankind one way or another. What that change is, I don't know, because I think, and this is why I say I can't discount the Bible, because it goes back to Paul in the Bible. Now, even though Paul, we know he was a spy, he worked with the Romans, but the thing is, he was from the tribe of Benjamin, which means he was an Israelite, or, whatever they want to call him, Hebrews, whatever. He said there's no real Israelites in the Bible, but Paul says at the time that Christ comes, and this is what I was trying to tell Cosman, in the Bible, Jesus and Christ are two different beings. They're two different entities. And that's why when Paul says, when Christ comes, we will be changed within the twinkling of an eye. He says we will be changed. So our human bodies, we don't know that, because Paul says we don't know yet what we'll be, but we know that whatever he is, whatever Christ really was, he says we will be like him, because Christ he incarnated into a flesh and blood body.
Now, see, I'm sorry, let me jump in there, before I forget. Now, you know what's interesting is that I see, Jesus Christ in the Bible doing things that some fallen gods, it's attributed to them. Have you seen it?
Yes, but again, and this is why I say is we got to be very careful with that, because I'm going to read something to you real quick. This is Matthew. This is.
But I don't think you know what I'm referring to, though.
I do, but I'm about to explain it as soon as I read this to you. This is Matthew 22, and this is verses 41 through 45. So it says, while the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus, now this is Jesus, asked them, saying, what think ye of Christ? See, he didn't say, what do you think of me? He said, what think ye of Christ? Whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David. He said unto them, how then in spirit call him Lord?
Lord. Right.
And so in verse 45, it says, if David then calls him Lord, how is he his son? Now, Jesus is asking them that. He didn't say, how am I his son? So Jesus himself makes a distinction that him and Christ are two different beings, two different people.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, because people never read that and they don't catch it, because there's two births in the Bible. There's a birth that happened in the manger.
There's a perversity. There's a perversity that the Bible, it breeds into men, because it's like, for people like me who are, growing up Bible church, you tend to think that that there are no errors, I've seen inconsistencies like that, but I trained myself to just let it go, and I'll get the answer later, that type of stuff. But what the OAHSPE is really, really, it's really, I don't know what the word is for it. It really bless my soul, is that teaching me, first of all, the narrative of Jesus Christ, with the story of Luamong and Constantine, and how his whole narrative came to be. And Cosman was saying that the other day, he was telling me how there were like 3 real entities, or not entities, I shouldn't say that, but like Jesus Christ. You mentioned Yesu, Jesus Christ, and then Zarathustra, and I don't know if you mentioned anybody else, but the OAHSPE, it really opened a lot of verses I really understand now. But let me share this with you. see what you think. I want to hear what you think about this. Now, I was reading the other day in one of the OAHSPE books called Ball Gan God. You remember that one?
Refresh my memory what it's about. I'll tell you.
It's one of the chapters. It's one of the books in the OAHSPE. It's called. It's
No,
under
no,
the.
I'm saying like, tell me like what part are you talking about, and I can tell you.
Well, under the section called Rites and Ceremonies, I think. I think it our early history of the faith is. And I was reading it, and it said that one of the ceremonies, of the God All Gan God was to eat of his flesh and drink of his blood. And then you know that Jesus said that unless you eat of my flesh and drink of my blood, then you have no life in you. I come to find out that's from a fallen God.
Absolutely.
Now, yeah. And then you can reason it and say, well, what's wrong with that? I get it. You got to be dedicated. It's what it's saying. But I think that's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, finish.
Now,
Finish it. Well, I was just going to say, it's like, even with that, it's like, and that's why, again, it brings me back around to where I was saying about the creator, because we all do have free will, but you have to think like that's saying, if I have a 10-year-old child, this child got free will, but from the time this child was born, I've taught them, take the bread and wine, that's Jesus' body and blood. So when I introduce this child to a real plate of flesh and blood, they're not going to turn away because they don't see anything wrong with it. And so it's the same way as what's happening now in America. It's like they slaughter cattle, we eat meat every day, we think nothing of it. Whereas, we must know that anything that once had life has a soul, some form of a life force of the creator. So, even in the Bible, like Cosmo was saying, like it's not from the real people, but there's real laws in there, like common sense laws too, where it says do not kill. Don't say don't kill what you can kill and what you shouldn't kill. It says do not kill. So why wouldn't we want to kill something where we feel like, because we need to eat? And like it's people that say, well, I can't live without meat. But think about it. These powers, these bloodlines, and these infrastructures have set this planet up that way so that mankind literally would starve to death if we tried to take meat out the planet, because our foods, they're not getting enough sun, the soil don't have nutrients in it, the water is damaged, everything. So it takes me back to when I say the creator himself would have to be evil to solely leave that on our heads to say that we need to make these choices without some type of divine intervention. And that's what I was saying is throughout the Bible. That's when the Lord God himself is not the creator Jehovah, even though he says he uses that name. That's why Jesus says, I come in my Father's name, because he incarnates into a flesh and blood body to bring these laws to man that have been lost so long. So there, it's like levels to it, but we cannot.
I see that that dynamic as well. The language of the, it's I just marvel at the way that the false gods, how they mingle the OAHSPE and the Bible, and it's a very fine line in a lot of instances where there's like Cosmo was saying. I think he was saying that there was a lot, or what? No, he said it was all lies, all lies.
Yeah.
And I mean, I personally, I disagree with that, because I think that the way that the fallen gods have done it, is they just, it reminds me of that parable. It might not apply, but I like to share it from time to time. Remember that parable where it talks about the woman that hid a measure of leaven and 3 measures of meal? And then, to leaven, in other words, to leaven the meal, and it sounds like that's what the false gods have done with this, with the, I kind of marvel at it, because, you got a kingdom, you don't want to lose it. And if you got power, you're going to exercise it in order to deceive you know, in other words, they have great power. You know, that's what
Absolutely.
really, you know, their power is like immense, man. And you talking about the human psyche, you know, you would think that, like, all I pretty much know that, you know, stop me you know, if
No,
I'm
no,
going,
go ahead. No, you're
I,
fine. Go ahead.
I, when I talk to people now, I mean, I'm like a puppy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
all you want to do is talk about the OI, you
Yeah,
know,
because
you
it's passionate. You know, you learn.
how, yeah. How long have you been, have you learned about the OAHSPE?
In 2022. Um, I don't
Oh,
know. And it wasn't like it wasn't through a faithist community. It's something came up in my feed where it's these other people like they really are like they have their own community of it, and
yeah.
it's like they make their own food, their own clothes, everything. Like, and this lady I was following her channel, and so I ended up buying it and just reading it. But like I said, it's like, yeah, I could definitely see truth in it. But as with everything in our time, anything that's channeled, we also got to know, like, we got to also be careful with that. Like, people will say, well, you can throw the Bible out, throw the Quran out. There's grains of truth in everything. It's like a map. You know, if the water was taken off the planet, everything on the planet could be pushed back into like a circle. But because it's
Mm,
water and lakes and rivers, everything is broken up like a puzzle. Well, that's even with our knowledge. Like, it's bits and pieces everywhere all over the planet. Just like
mm,
how they talk about Osiris was cut into pieces by Set, and Isis put him all the way back together. So it's like
mm,
that knowledge of Set. I mean, I'm sorry, Osiris is being put back together through our knowledge. You know, we become the greater Osiris or the greater Christ, and that's what I was saying. Like, there's even like in when Jesus talks about the prodigal son, and he says the younger son took his money and squandered it and went off with prostitutes and everything, but he
right.
came home to the father. And the older son was said, you know, you didn't ever do this and that for me, and I've been here with you forever. But it's
Yeah.
like the dynamic of it is they both went to the father. So our goal in life is always to be ascending back to the father, you know. So these fallen gods, these religions, the governments, you know, mankind's flesh, oh, I'm Israelite, I'm Jewish, I'm this and that. We have to
Yeah.
become humanity again, become, you know, change from being the beast of the field that we are, because beasts of the field killed each other, they eat each other, they, you know, drink the blood. Yeah, so we have, our goal is to become back to the father, and you know, and like I said, it's never going to be a book. The OAHSPE might be like the book we use now. The Bible was
Yeah.
a book that our grandparents used. Prior to that, you know, it was something that their parents used. Some things was just oral law, but it'll never be a book. It's like you said, how you, even before we was having this conversation, some things you knew. That's the
Yeah.
father spirit poured out on you. It's like, you know,
Hmm.
my son, I have a son that's 22, and
Mm,
we were talking about the bread and the wine. You know, well, Jewish people don't call it the uh, the blood and the body. They call it the bread and the wine. They give thanks. They said to Adonai, who gives the fruit of the vine and the bread of the field. So they
let me let me interject when you finish. I just something just came to my mind. I want to tell you.
go ahead before you lose your thought. I'll remember mine.
Okay. Yeah, in the account of Ball Gang Gad, that God in the OAHSPE,
Mm-hmm.
it said that he actually did it. He actually, I don't know, I guess this is where he got the start of this tradition, took
Mm-hmm.
some of his flesh and made some of his, I guess some, or I don't know if all, or you only got so much body, you know, but took some of it off of, took his own flesh and had them eat it. And he
Yeah,
actually said, here, take it, eat, take, or, you know, what exactly what Jesus Christ said, you know, eat of this or take of this, my flesh. And, you know, so it was like an actual tradition that he quoted there. And you're right. You said something.
Yeah.
Um, if I may comment. I love what you said about. That's how I see reality. Looking at men, I'm constantly thinking, man. We started out not knowing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wasn't able to even care for ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
we get some knowledge, man, and we think that we all. You know, you see how we get. You
Yes.
know,
And
Uh,
and and
right?
and,
You know,
and pride. The Bible say pride come before the fall because
yeah,
we're always babes in Christ. We're always babes in Jehovah because our knowledge will never ascend to where theirs
yeah,
is. As we move up, they continue to move up. They're
right,
all knowledge. But I want to bring it back to what you were saying about the blood because, like, even in the book of Luke, it talks about the Galileans and it says,
yes, yeah,
Pilate mingled blood with their sacrifices.
sacrifices,
So
yeah,
this Christ this Jesus that people are drinking the blood and eating his flesh, he is not the prophet that the Almighty sent to the people to bring them back to the truth of no eating blood, how to wash your body, how to eat vegetables, rest, different things like that.
Do me a favor. Say that again. Say that what you just got finished saying again.
I was saying that the Christ that the world is worshiping, where people say we're gonna drink the blood and eat the body, he is not the Christ that the Most High sent his prophet to the
Right, right,
Israelites
right.
to say, we're not to drink blood, we're not to eat pig's meat, give the laws back to them, and this is why people are bucking against the laws now. They're bucking against going back to the laws. Well, Jesus hung on the cross and he freed us and we're free of sin. But here's the thing. If we accept a blood sacrifice, are we no better than the people who was drinking blood? If I say, go ahead and kill somebody and they're going to take all my sins away and I don't have to go to jail because y'all killed him for me, then I'm no better than the evil demons who are killing mankind daily. So
Mm-hmm.
but it's like I said, it's in the Bible. It's in every one of the holy books and it's that way because the Creator put it that way because everything given in one book and given straight out of His mouth, we wouldn't search for it. We wouldn't these trials and errors that we
I
go.
I read that yesterday. I read that yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these
You know,
trials and errors that we
and
go through, they would be so easy. We
yeah,
would just,
if
but
we didn't, yeah.
how would
See,
he
that's
know
what.
we were worshiping him because we loved him and we love his
Yeah,
ways?
yeah.
That's what.
That's the creator. Yeah, that's how I understand him.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves a little bit out there for you to get on your own.
Yeah.
I was reading, I was reading yesterday in the OAHSPE where it talked about, well, he was just given a reasoning for the way he does things, and he talked about basically Dave. He cleared it up for me, and the language is kind of difficult for me, but he said basically that, and I read it too, where it said that if the creator didn't leave a little, if you didn't exercise any exertion, then
Mm-hmm.
you basically just become a vegetable. So it's like he's teaching you that we have a responsibility too when it comes to learning and growing and elevating in the spirit. We have
Yeah.
he leaves a little bit for us to do on our own, because if we didn't, then we would never. I seen it. Well, I was going to talk about this interesting little video I saw where these dogs that how they knew that how they wanted to show how at certain ages dogs don't have cognitive abilities to their
Mm-hmm.
cognition has been formed yet fully formed, and they showed a study and proven that, and it's like the creators same way with us. But damn it, you said something again. See, my mom, I got the memory of a goldfish, man. It's like it's
Take some
about
notes.
20.
You gotta get you a notebook. You have to get a notebook and sit it by you.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. When y'all was talking, oh yeah, that reminds me too. Now Cosmin, he said something about and I just thought it was profound as hell, man. Or it might have been you. One of y'all mentioned that some people, it's like they don't have no souls.
Yeah, there's solar, but that's what this is what I was trying to tell him. It's within regards to those two creations because there's the creation of real. There's the create. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good. Can you hear me?
I thought my thing cut off. Yeah, there's the creation of real humans, and then there's the creation of the ones who were created by the false gods in Genesis 1. And these are the ones that were the androgynous beings because they were created that way so that they could either way. And this is my understanding of it because they're androgynous, they have both sex organs, which is when it says that Eve ate from the tree of good and bad, the tree of good and bad, two sex organs, and she shared the fruit with her husband. So Adam was able to see that being too, because this being is androgynous. And it's like you once you read it, and then you read like how the like they were the Israelites was being punished for sleeping with other nations, and you would think, well, why would God care? You know, they're humans. Why would He care, or why would He destroy them for sleeping with other nations? And He would call the kids abominations. It wasn't because they were just humans. They were abominations because they were creating something that He didn't create. And that's why He did the whole breakdown, like do not sleep with animals, do not sleep with your mother, do not sleep with your sisters, men and men. It's like the whole breakdown. But what these women of Midian, when they came into the camp, it says the Israelite man killed this girl. He had to kill her. He had to kill her just because she was cheating with one of the men. See, that didn't make sense because it said it stayed. The Bible says it stayed the plague. But what was the plague? Maybe because it said some of these women were sent away with their children. Why were their children being sent away? Because they were something else. And if
so let me interject something real quick. Let me ask something real quick. So you're saying that you're describing these people as being soulless, right?
Yeah, they didn't, because they're not from the Creator didn't create them, and only the Creator can give them a soul.
Now let me share something with you real quick that I mentioned the other day. I was talking with somebody, and I saw a video, and I said these exact same words. Now we were talking about Asians. I don't know how we got on the subject, and I said something like, he said something that I said, yeah, you know what? They strike me as soulless sometimes. So like they ain't got no soul. And I mentioned an example how I was looking at this video, and it was during the time of the, I'll get in trouble if I say it,
I know what you're saying. Yeah. I know the C word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It was during the time of the C word, right?
Yeah.
And well, actually, it was a video showing how you can be remote killed remote, through your phone. They can send. I better be careful saying that too. But
no, but I'll tell you, it's true because it's not just. It's not even just that. It's like, this is what I was trying to explain to Cosmo when he was saying he don't believe it.
I'm gonna lose what I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
Well, I was talking about people being soulless, and I saw a video of somebody and they got remote killed. It did. I saw it, right? And it was like an Asian beauty salon where it happened. And that woman, you probably seen it yourself. She fell down dead, and they acted like wasn't nothing wrong.
Because they're used to it. They're used to it. It's
like soulless as can be. I couldn't believe it.
Well, that's why I said what I said. There's people on this planet that are not humans. Like everybody we encounter is not humans. AI did not just become created. AI has been around since mankind has been around. This is what, like, even in the Bible, it says, the Lord God, because He's the representative of Jehovah on this planet. And He's saying, like, he's causing destruction and destroying people. He says, because of your inventions. So what were these inventions that they were using? And it's like it's a whole system of it. And everything is not just physical, because you must understand we are spiritual first, and we've traversed the spirit. We've become flesh and blood, but the flesh and blood is fallen. And that's what I was trying to tell him. These are like, we're in prison right now. Like these these flesh and blood bodies they're like they're prison suits, because we're spirit. So yeah, there's some angels here who came here to experience this reality, but they were sent here, like the ones who were sent to Abraham to create seed lines, that to be righteous seed lines. But then there are some who came here who wasn't supposed to be here, and then they made it and had children with real humans. So they became the Nephilim and the fallen, because these are abominations. It's like if I went out and had a baby with a horse, there's no way I'm going to birth a human. And if I had a baby with a cow or a pig, it's going to have some parts of being human, but it's not going to be human. So,
you said something made me think of Cosmin, and something that I see a lot of brothers do, a lot of Israelite brothers do. And I remember talking to somebody. I'm kind of getting off subject here, but I think I think you're going to get something out of what I'm going to say. It's like, and it's very sad for me to see. I'm big on being able to have a conversation. I won't, if I see what I see in this reality, people are poor conversationalists. Very, very poor. I'm a Libra, right? And those are people who are big on diplomacy, very big on it. That's my vibration. And we got a lot of Israelite brothers that they're very poor conversationalists, very, very poor. And it's sad to see, because what good is your message if you're busy, if you're busy violating people's vibration to where you can't even have a discussion?
Well, it's that religion, because they become like the God they worship. That God, that's what I was telling Cosmon. In the Bible, there's two gods. You'll know the voice of the one that's speaking in behalf of the creator, because it's always a peaceful, loving, passionate voice. But the ones that go in, destroy, kill, murder, then they become like they're on the street corner, top of their lungs and screaming in your face about what you're wearing and what you're not doing. And
you are what you eat. That saying is
confusion.
And you get a little. It's like some. It's just so. It's for a brother like me to see where two brethren, they obviously know a lot, but they can't talk to one another because there's some, just like you witnessed tonight.
It's pride. It's pride.
I'm very, now see, that's one thing I know will kill you, and I'm very leery of that. I do know that if that gets a hold of you, then you will be stunted in your growth. Your growth will stunt you. You won't. Your spiritual growth will be very limited and may even digress. If you get caught in that web, and I'm not trying to say I'm Moses or anything, but as the older you get, man. And that's a trap that a lot of younger brothers really, really fall into, man. They start taking dominion over other people. They start becoming forceful and dominating and domineering. And forgetting that when we started out, we couldn't even take care of ourselves. And so I think I'm just bringing it up because it's especially in our community, it's a real problem that we're not, I haven't seen very much that we're pretty good at being able to talk to one another. It just kills me, man.
Well, it goes back again, like you said, to the Bible. That's why I say the Bible, you cannot just throw out the Bible with the baby, with the bathwater, because it talks about to those who have responsibly talents, those who have the denarii and do it right, more will be given to them. And that's like wisdom and, privileges,
Yeah,
spiritual privileges, because there's
yeah,
levels to this. And it's like you said, if we have more and we lose it, the wheat and the tares, this is how we're broken down and determine which team we on. Are we a tear or a wheat? Because like I tell people, yeah, I was born under the sign of Leo, and I used to really live up to that title, not because of the sign, it's just who I was and the way I grew up. But
yeah. The signs are a vibration. You
yeah,
know, I mean,
because Leo is the ruling sun, and everything.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
what brought
I
me
mean,
down to normalcy and realizing like this outer shell is not who I am. I need to speak to people because I want to nurture their spirits. I don't want to be screaming in somebody's face, So that's why I say his conversation didn't bother me because I'm used to dealing with people like that, coming from a place like that. But I understood exactly what you were saying, and that's why I just wanted him to get back to what he was
yeah.
saying.
I could feel you. I could feel you. One of my gifts is I know the signs. I know the vibrations, and I know what I'm going to get from people when I find out their vibration. I know what I'm going to get, you know,
Yeah.
and it's helped me in my reality to be a witness. One thing that I get when it comes to spirituality is clear, even in the Bible. Well, I don't even like to mention in this. I don't want to refer to the Bible describing what I'm going to say, but I know that the Creator wants me to be a light. That
Absolutely.
requires being able to deal with people, and a lot of times that means that you have to subdue. You have to suppress your ego, and
Mm-hmm.
I notice that a lot of brethren are not willing to do that. With being a son or daughter, there's a lot of responsibility that come with that,
Well,
and
that's
a lot.
because they're still Jacob. Because Jacob means he who wrestles with God. But then he
Yeah,
becomes Israel when he prevails because you are no longer under that lower vibration of wrestling and fighting anymore. So
right, right.
everything means something. And
That's pretty heavy what you said, man.
yeah,
I hope you stay in the room, man.
well, I plan to.
Hope you do, man. I'm telling you, I love talking to you, sis. Usually it's that way anyway, The sisters got us beat, man. When it comes to conversation, being able to converse without some problem, and I'm not trying to put brothers down,
No,
but I
I
love,
totally get it. I understand, but
yeah.
sisters, it's not that we have y'all beat. It's because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
With
Lord,
sisters, you get a problem too.
no, you got to remember this. The Lord put y'all to sleep. When he put y'all to sleep and took the woman out of y'all, the Sophia, the wisdom, men don't have that wisdom, that womanly wisdom anymore. You like men are smart, y'all capable, y'all the most magnificent kings on the planet, but the womanly wisdom has been taken because of the sin, and once a man gets, come back to the father and come under the protection of the father, they gain that womanly wisdom back where because God gives it to them, because wisdom is the feminine aspect. In Proverbs 8, that's wisdom speaking. Sophia is speaking, but she's God's wisdom. So, and this is why Apostle Paul, like I said, even though he was corrupt and he was teaching all kind of crazy stuff, he even in the truth, even in the lies, he have to tell truth too. He was able to say that when we read the Old Testament or the law, we have blinders on. He says it'll always be that way. Like we'll always look at that and be like, this was right. But then he says, well, when you come to Christ, who Christ is the principle of wisdom, then we'll see that we have been asleep. But this is where it goes to that thing where you were asking about this eclipse. Are we about to get an upgrade in our spirit? Because we're lagging. Like we are so far behind and everything. Like mankind have been on the planet this long, and we're still fighting and killing and selfish.
Yeah, I get it. I personally, I make it part of my reality to. That's one thing I hate about my reality is the division. The male is trying to prove that he's superior. The woman is trying to prove she's superior, and it really pisses me off, really. And
Yeah.
I separate myself from that type of, when I hear that type of deal going on between people and the man and the woman, and I don't look at stuff like that. I don't think like that. I don't, I don't play games. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that you're playing a game or any. I'm just saying that it's not
overall.
it's not my flavor. I see people doing it and they divide against one another. I think that's what America is famous for. It's like female liberation against the patriarchal system, and it just makes me cuss sometimes because I just don't like it. Because anything that divides,
it goes against spiritual principle.
Yeah, it does.
Because you gotta think like the Creator is all knowing, all wise. So some women get upset when people say, "Well, you were created less than a man, or you were created to be his helpmeet." But think about this: I wouldn't want a husband that's giving birth to kids because that's my job. Like I don't want him. So what would make me a woman if he's having babies and I'm having babies?
Don't you know they're doing that now?
Yeah, but I'm saying like in real life, like this is not a real man that's doing it. But I'm saying I would.
Men are giving birth now. They got men giving birth.
Well, it's terrifying because I'm saying it's a place for a woman and a man. God created two principles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And if both of them are the same frequency, because I don't want to be like this buff, cut up guy and measure myself up to my husband or walking into the office building, with my suit and tie on, and it's like it just looks crazy. So I don't. When women are like, "Oh, I can do what my husband do," this. Well, why would you want to? Why would you want to be him? Like, let him be who God created him to be, because in diversity, there's beauty. And our Creator he's so amazing and so beautiful. Like he didn't just create one set of flowers, he created millions. So there's diversity in every male and every female. I don't need the man screaming down my head to prove he's a man, because you could scream down at me and toss me down the stairs, but then you go out there and some guy do that to you. So that didn't prove you were a man. It's the way we emulate the Creator that determines who we are. And like you said, it tells us if we're sons or daughters of the Creator.
Yeah, I'm just amazed, man, how I think that one of the first things you ought to get. I mean, well, I've been beat up in my life. I believe that I would have been the proudest man alive if I hadn't gotten beat up in my life a lot. I mean, beat up spiritually.
No, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, me too.
Really, really had to take a beating, man. Now I understand why, because now, you can admit your failures, your imperfections. You don't have to be the alpha male. If you can get to that level, man, then you can be greater. He can really use you, and he seems to lift up that character of meek and quiet spirit, they call it. I don't know if I'm so quiet, but I can see the principle, what he's talking about. But it seemed like you ought to be able to get that quickly, man. I love what you said, man. That was really powerful what you said. That he who has more shall be given. And he who has not, that little which he has will be taken away.
Yeah.
That was really nice, man.
Well,
But
you know,
let me give you the last word so I can time for me to. I usually like to stay to an hour and a half, and
okay,
we put almost
fine.
4 hours or 3.5. But I love the conversation. It breaks. I hate the way Cal left, man. I wish
That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. He'll be on tomorrow. We'll have it again tomorrow. You know, it's everybody have to just fill
I
out
hope,
who everybody is.
I hope you're right, man. I
Yeah,
hate that when
he'll be
brothers
back.
fall out like that. You know, I
And
hope you're right.
he brings a lot, like you said, he got a lot of wisdom, and
Yeah,
you know, Jehovah wants
yeah.
him to express
The
wisdom.
way he talks, though, the way he talks, the flavor that comes off his voice. I knew
Mhm.
because I was having a problem with the way the dialogue was going. I
Mhm.
felt like there wasn't enough decorum going on there. I wanted to see more, you know, you say it, then let her respond, and then she responds, and then you say you respond. I'm big on having a good conversation. You know, let them talk, then you talk, then they talk, then you talk. You know, exchange of ideas.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to have a problem with the
Well,
way
when
problem.
Dave left, I knew when I seen Dave leave, I was like, "Oh no, what?" But
Yeah, I mean, shoot, man. You know, there's just sometimes, guys just they need to kind of have it out with one another, and
yeah,
then later on, it'll be greater in the future. You know, so I expect a better relationship with him from now on. He
yeah, he'll
knows
be.
what I expect from him, and I know what to expect from me dealing with him. You know. So it's all good.
Yeah, he'll be good.
If we brethren, man, we can't be having no, you know what I mean?
It's like a family, you know. Everybody got their different personalities, but you gotta work. You
Yeah,
gotta work through it. You gotta work through it.
yeah.
It's all good.
So you
Well,
think April is gonna come and go then, right? You think it's gonna come and go?
I believe it's definitely gonna come and go, but you know
I mean,
what it's gonna
it's
bring with it is remains to be seen. You know, only the true Creator knows, because it's all within His divine plan for everybody. You know, it's not. I don't believe that we are all just going to continuously be up under false gods and dominions and powers and principalities, like the Bible say. Um,
right,
I believe everything was and is a learning curve and a punishment for us to get back on vibration with the Creator and under His divine plan. And you know, it's like if you hanging out in the streets with people that's mistreating you, eventually you go home. You get tired of it, like the prodigal son. Like, I'm tired of that. I got a parent that loves me, you know, going to feed me, clothe me, let me sleep and rest. So eventually we get tired of, like you said, the recyclable lies, you know, oh, I'm coming to save you, or I'm going to heal you, or you're going to do this and that. So eventually we go back to the true tree of life and
uh,
start eating there. And that's, you know, once we come home, that's where you, like you said, you get your vibrations. You start getting your levels of growth and spiritual discernment. And it's not going to come from a book. We could teach from a book all day, you know. And this was
yeah,
Christ was reprimanding the Pharisees, scribes, Sadducees, because they were adherents to the law, to the point where he said, "You won't even lift a finger to help these people. Y'all tithing them, y'all doing this and doing that, but you won't help them." So it's
wow,
never going to come from a book. It's going to come from us having conversations just like this, prayer, and realizing that there is only one Creator, and that's the Father of everything and everybody. And once the planet get back on that vibration, these lower gods, these lower entities, everything will fall off, and we'll get back to the garden where we're supposed to be.
right. Man, that was well put. I think you were the one that wanted to join in with me on the food ministry. That was you, wasn't it?
Yep, that was me.
That
Hmm.
was very to me, that was big time, man. You know, to offer yourself like that, that really told me a lot, man. You know, I
Well,
appreciate,
it still stands.
I appreciate that vibration in you to want to, you know. But anyway, a Leo is like that anyway. You know, they got the big hearts, you know. So anyway, thank you, sis. I really, man, you know.
Thank
Now
you.
you're obligated to my channel, man, because when
Okay.
I'm talking, I'm putting the responsibility. I'm looking at you like my big sister. So when I'm doing the reading, and then I need some answer, I'm expect you and Dave
Yeah.
to come.
And Cosmo, he'll be back.
Yeah, yeah, I hope he come back. You know, he's a Pisces, man. And a Pisces, they can, man, they can leave you and go away forever, though. You know, that's why I didn't jump in earlier. I kind of knew that this was going to happen just listening to the way he presents himself, and I knew it was coming. I knew I was going to have to, you know. And then it came sooner than what I think, but they, you know, brethren, you know, that type of spirit, you know, Pisces, they can go down the deep waters. You'll never find them again. But I hope I'm wrong, man. I'm telling you the truth.
I
You know,
know.
I know the spirits, man. That's one of them signs.
The
You'll
water.
never find them again, man. Never
No,
find them again.
he'll be back because he got work to do. You know, right now this is not about. It's not
I
about
hope
nothing.
you do, man.
It. You
I
know,
hope he.
the Bible tells us. It says in the last days the good news of the kingdom will be preached, and then the end will come. So you must know that everything up to this point hasn't been the good news. So the good news is that we have a father who loves us and we can go home. And so once we get this message out, then this system wraps up. This, and it don't mean like the world gonna end, but the way things are done here, it's got to wrap up because we're no longer dependent on religion or the government or the
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
That's what I get
all
that
these
too.
things that we must have the materialism.
Right,
So
right.
we'll be under the direction of the true creator, and then he will show us what we're supposed to be doing.
Right, right. That was very well said. Yeah. I sleep a lot easier at night, man. Knowing the plan of the creator a little better and how you know, the purpose of the earth and the eventuality of the sons and daughters. And I maybe do me a favor, answer this before I close the video.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to understand that really everybody. I mean, you know, does everybody resurrect past the second resurrection?
No, then that's why it says there will be some in the first resurrection who will never die, but the resurrections is spiritual because it's knowledge. So some people they're not willing to put in the work to attain that knowledge. So it's
Mm,
like some people is okay with just knowing I can pray and I know that God will answer my prayers and I'm okay with that. Some people don't want to know like the mind of the creator. Some people don't want to know, what motivated him out of this love that he had to create humanity, angels, ethereal worlds, to set his systems up the way he did. Some people are okay with that. So that resurrection is not just bodily or spiritual. It's more like also like knowledge, like coming into a knowledgeable resurrection.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's knowledge and works.
Mm.
Knowledge and works. It's not just sitting back, loving everybody. You
Yeah,
know,
like
giving your body, giving your body to the flames. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, sis, you bless my soul, man. Now I look forward to hopefully have you come through again. I try to do my videos every day. Every day.
I'm here, like I'm always on. I always catch them. Like even if I don't catch them when you first start, like I always end up hopping on. Sometimes I don't say nothing, but now I try to like let you know I'm here. So
Oh, yeah, well, no, I'm gonna be on you. You know,
That's why I said now since I'm able like to know how to get on here.
you
Like
think I'm gonna just let you slide? No, now that I see what the wisdom that you got, no, I'm
well,
calling y'all brothers out, man. Y'all ain't gonna leave me out there to dry. Ain't
you
out
can't.
there to
You
dry.
can't. It's a family. That's why I said Cosmo will be back. You're gonna get. I don't know if you remember, like the very first time I was on your chat and we were talking about. It was like you were saying like you had 18 people or something listening, or on your YouTube page. No, your
Oh,
Facebook.
I nearly had a heart attack.
I said, don't worry. I said because it's gonna grow because this is what the Creator want. Like you put the effort in. You put the seed in the ground. Paul planted, Apollos watered. God makes it grow. So the Creator makes it grow. There's nothing.
You may find it funny. I kind of don't even. I kind of don't even want this channel to grow. That may sound funny, but I really don't.
It don't sound funny,
If I
but
were to be honest,
you're speaking from what you want, and
right,
it's
right.
not. It's never about us. It's always about because you don't
Yeah,
know you might stumble across your channel, and like you said,
right,
how you sleep good at night because you've been liberated in your
right,
soul. You know who the Creator is. Your
right,
channel might do that for somebody else because imagine we're all suffering and we don't know which way is which, and and we don't have answers to questions like, well, what happens when somebody dies, or what happens, why do babies,
right,
or why are we
right.
starving, or these things like this, where if those
Oh, I remembered something. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just got to make
go
it fast.
ahead.
Hey, what is a fetal spirit?
A spirit that didn't have birth, that died either in the womb or shortly, died in the womb probably, or died shortly after birth, like it never had a chance to grow up, maybe like a couple of days old.
No, I mean when you actually talk about a fetal,
Mm-hmm.
it says like it puts it in the it gives a picture of like something that comes on people.
Yeah, like it attaches itself to you, um, or to a person, it says, to grow and eat off that person
Yeah,
until it becomes full grown, because you got to remember it didn't live as a human. So it's like you become like a host. If your energy vibrations are low, you become like a host, and so this spirit is eating from you, far as like making you get involved in things like sex or certain foods or different things like that we normally wouldn't be bothered with, because our vibrations are so low. We could be somebody that, say for instance, you drink alcohol every day, so of course you have a low vibration, or you eating a lot of meat, you have a low vibration, because your spirit does not thrive on those things. So these entities will be able to attach themselves to you so that they can continue to grow. So you would know a person like that because they would become like a depressed person. Some people would think that they are people with mental illnesses, talking to themselves, things like that, because their thoughts are not their own. This soulless entity is sucking off of them. But you could break it through a fast, prayer exclusively to the Creator. It's rituals like bathing, because baptism was never really about being baptized. It was the Essenes use it, talking about it's like it washes your body, but it's like demons and spirits and low vibration entities, they're not attracted to cleanness. That's why that our ancestors used to say things like cleanliness is next to godliness. Well, they knew that because but you think about people on the streets, like these homeless people, you see them and they're talking to themselves, they land on the streets, they dirty. Of course they're being consumed by all manner of low vibration entities. Um, and if you see these people, like even in the Bible, when Christ, the guy was in the tomb, it says he would come out, tear off his clothes, cut himself up. Uh, just him changing that. It says when he
so
was
so
sitting there, Christ.
fetal attaches itself.
Mhm. Say it again.
attaches.
Say it again. I didn't hear you.
So a fetal, it'll attach itself to
Yeah.
somebody.
Mm-hmm. It's called like a fetal because it's like a baby and it's growing from you.
Because I read in the OAHSPE where it said that if you do like certain types of sins,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll be given the spirit of a fetal or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Because sin, and that's another thing I was saying, because this is why people in these religions, oh, Jesus, he died on the cross, he took all your sins. And then you see all these people in church and they're sick and they're dying and they got diabetes and everything that you could get if and you wonder, well, if Jesus took all my sins, why is all this happening? Or why didn't they, like in the Bible when Jesus says it's a spirit on the daughter of Abraham and she's bent over and he cast this demon off of her and says she stood up after 20 years straight. So what's happening, the reason why people are not standing up straight or their diabetes ain't gone, or why is that spirit still on them? So it's because these rituals are not being followed, these laws are not being followed. Something cracks your aura, and that's in these spirits of infirmity. And we can become like Christ. That's why, again, it goes back to this August 8th thing. Will we get those upgrades to be able to do that? Because we would have to have the upgrade in our minds first, in our spirits first, for it to manifest in the body. Because after Christ fasted for 40 days in the wilderness is when he came into his full power of turning water into wine and creating bread and walking on the water and things like that. But it took him to shed off those 30 something years, because he was like 33 and a half years old when he died. So it's like he had to shed off those 30 something years of low vibration fetal spirits from him before he was able to ascend to be the power that he came here to do.
I kind of get what you're saying, but I'll pick it up with you tomorrow if you come in.
Okay.
But I get a lot more than what I knew before. So I thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh man, thank you for finding me, man. I expect to more. I don't want. I don't want the a whole lot of. I don't want to deal with a lot of spirits. That's why I was saying earlier about. I hope it don't grow like a whole lot. Because it's. I think that faith is. We're called to. That we're called to. What's that word I'm looking for? Where you have to subdue your ego.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with a lot of people, man. And spirituality. You have to really subdue your ego. That can wear you out sometimes, man.
But
and sometimes
you're right,
yeah.
because even like in the Bible, like where it talks about the spirit of the Messiah, it says he will not be screaming in the streets and he will not break a flat. So even that Israelite spirit of them yelling on the corners and screaming and hollering, we would know that that's not of the Christ. It's of their God. So I understand exactly what you're saying. Yep, makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, man, oh man, Asaph, I appreciate you, man. I sure do, man. So let me go ahead and shut it down for now, and then hopefully Heavenly Father willing, tomorrow, we'll pick it up again. So if you have any last words, go ahead, and then I'm closing.
Just appreciate you. Thank you for having me on, and yeah, we'll try.
Oh man, my pleasure. My pleasure, man. I say, you got to forgive me. I say man when I mean sisters, too.
Okay.
I just got a quirk in my language, but all right. So I want to give thanks to the Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for giving me this opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality. Thank you, anybody who was joining me. And pray that the Heavenly Father count all of us worthy to escape what's coming on the earth. And so until I see you, brethren, again on video, peace be unto you. Shalom.
Shalom. Good night.